The NBA playoffs are officially heating up. They are here. We in the midst of everything, and a lot happened this last weekend, starting with Anthony Edwards going into the bottom drawer of the dresser, grabbing that big, thick, long black belt and pulling it out against the Lakers, specifically LeBron, Luka, and JJ Redick. You're not getting off the hook either. You caught that belt too. So we're going to get to that, y'all. Also, some things happen with the Bucks that are unfortunate. And Damian Lillard, he is out indefinitely. We'll get into his injury and what this means for the Bucks and what this means for Damian Lillard. Also, it's a team right now that's coming to see me, Chill. Come on. Hey, Jerry, come on. Hey, I got a nice cozy place for you right here on this beach, right down in Cancun.
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Well, we're going to get into all of that, y'all. It was a good weekend. First, let's start with the Lakers, y'all, and more specifically with Anthony Edwards. It seems like that whole playoff rising thing isn't a narrative anymore.
He's always been a good player in the playoffs, always. Even not just this year, not just last year. You know, when he lost in the first round, remember when he threw that chair? Like he got busy in the play. He's always gotten busy in the playoffs. He's raised his game. And the fact that he's now been able to stretch the defense like he's been able to stretch the defense and score, he's definitely a much better scorer today than he was 2 years ago. So he's always been a playoff riser more than anything. I'm happier for Julius Randle more than anything. And the reason why I'm happier for Julius Randle is because of not only the narrative of him being what he was in the playoffs, because he definitely created that. Let me not make it sound like it was something that was unfair. No, because he definitely created that. He was a guy in the playoffs who wasn't very good. He didn't shoot the basketball well. He was lagging on defense. But in this particular series, watching him, he's taking advantage of the Lakers' small lineups. He's taking advantage of him being able to get on the glass. He's taking advantage of them giving him open shots and knocking them down. He's been a big plus for them, no doubt about that.
Yeah. You know what? I think what happened was, Chill, is that I over-indexed my own philosophy, and because I've been talking about, I feel like the Wolves for months now, and I basically been talking about like how good they've been. They've been like my Pacers West, you know, and I think they were a better team than the Lakers all year. But I think, to be fair, like the argument we all had when the trade happened on February 10th, we all came to the conclusion that, like, in terms of a shot-making series, and I think Mars would even agree with this, down the stretch of a fourth quarter, you expect Reeves, Braun, and Luka. You're just not going to outshoot them. Like, that is their forte. Their defense isn't going to be, I think, anything of what it is supposed to be or whatever. Like, it's not supposed to be or anything. But their offense is supposed to be what carries them. And, man, I'm telling you what, man, like, it matters having 8 NBA players that are starters, Jill. 8. They have 8 players that are starters in that roster. And Dante can start almost anywhere. Nas can start almost anywhere. Nickeil Alexander-Walker can start for a bunch of teams. He's a really good player. But even Terrence Shannon Jr., Jalen Clark, they all give valuable contributions. And, you know, when you get beyond Anthony Edwards, when you get like Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels having a series of his life, Julius Randle having a series of his life, and Anthony Edwards having the best series of his career, you put all that stuff together, it's 3-1, and it makes complete sense why. They've been excellent. They've been extremely physical. Every time the Lakers went up 10 or 11 points, they chased them down, in part because Anthony Edwards over the shot making has just been out of this world.
Sure.
And when he gets all like that 1-2-2 zone put on him and it's Austin Reeves or Luka at the top, he's frying, either going to the rim and having his best playmaking series of his career. And the thing about playmaking, he's only averaging 5.8 assists per game. But it's the fact that he's creating so many advantages for his team. And I think he's gotten so much better at that. Even the dump off that he had to Julius on the drive in the first half,
that was
good. You know, even last year, I don't even think he would have saw that. So honestly, just like an incredibly coached series from Chris Finch. Shout out to everybody in the Minnesota Timberwolves. They honestly have all been so good. And I, for one, will publicly say Julius Randle has outdid every expectation I had for him coming into, really from January on, ever since he came back from the injury, or February on. He's been a different player. He's been really efficient, really good, fit well. And honestly, Chill, the reason why it's worked, his defense one-on-one has been really, really good.
Well, it's interesting how this is where we are, Miles, and I want you to go because I know you got some stuff on your mind. But I think it's interesting how the tune changes because, I was, again, in front of a firing squad because I had to come off the Minnesota take that I had when I had them in the finals earlier in the year, like before the season started. I had them in the NBA championship, and I had to come off of that because they looked less than. They look like a team that, as good as their defense was the year before, it wasn't nearly as good as it was. I mean, their offense was less than.
Yeah.
In fact, late in games, it was average at best. Julius Randle looked like there were times when it looked like Minnesota might have made a mistake here, that they trading for him might have been a mistake. Only except this is where we are now with this team. And I thought that before this series started, I felt like Julius Randle, his ability to get on the glass and help hold the Lakers to one shot is going to be a big deal in this series. And I feel like that's what happened.
Chill. This is something we acknowledge, though. In the beginning, where it was me, you, and Ox, that were standing firm that this was a good trade. Now, just because it's a good trade doesn't mean you actually won the trade.
Yeah.
Sure.
We all said that we liked the trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I dug it. I did.
I'm saying that to say, obviously, things were rough in the beginning. It took them a while to get things together, but we all know that. When you make a trade like this, even for the Lakers, though, this is the same thing that can be said for the Lakers. When you make a trade of this magnitude, it takes time for everybody to get on the same page. Well, it took the Wolves a little bit, but now here we are after the full season, and what do you know? It looks beautiful.
Now, I am going to say this, and I know this may sound like I'm Captain Obvious here, but the Game 5 winner wins this series. And I'm going to say this again for the people in the cheap seats. The Game 5 winner wins this series. If Minnesota wins Game 5, series is over. If the Lakers win Game 5, we're coming back to Crypto.com for Game 7. I'm telling y'all right now. If the Lakers win Game 5, we will be back here
what
on
gets
Sunday
you,
for Game 7.
What gives you that hope, though, given that we'll talk about the as you would like to say, the meats and potatoes of the game, maybe biscuits and gravy as well. I think some of this is they don't have, again, this is why them having 3 starters off their bench, Chill, it doesn't matter. Number one, Bron hasn't been the best player in the series, nor is Luka, I would argue. I think you can make an argument for Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards has been the best player in the series.
But I think it's the fourth quarter stuff that's mattered a lot.
I
like
think
Luka's, I think Luka's 5 of 17 in the 4 quarters of the series. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
But I think he also is getting worn out as the series goes on, whereas Ant is still playing really well down the stretch. And I think there's something too very similar to SGA. You being able to create offense in the middle of the court, I think has been really important. I think Anthony Edwards has just been phenomenal at that spot. But the Lakers have, they have 5 players JJ trusted yesterday. I think they probably have 6 or 7. But I think it's going to be hard, Chill, for them to just deal with the constant onslaught. Because honestly, Chill, if this might sound crazy, the Lakers have a worse offense and worse defense and a worse rebounding team than the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think that's played itself out in the series so far.
Well, the biggest problem that you have when you have 2 guys who can score like both Luka and James is, as much of a luxury it is, it also masks a huge problem that you have. And when they're not doing what you expect them to do in terms of not just getting buckets, but doing all the other stuff, all that other stuff gets illuminated. Like, for example, you got a lineup of James, Luka, DFS, Rui, and Reeves.
Yeah.
You have James at the 5. You have no rim protection whatsoever. You got James down there as your primary rebounder. And that works 5 years ago, right? It does work 5 years ago. It doesn't work today. No, it does not work today off the strength that it doesn't work today off the strength that not only is he older, but the fact that gang rebounding that you should have, you don't have it. And now Minnesota has it, where both Rudy and Naz Reid are now attacking the glass, which now leaves you to have to deal with a guy like Julius Randle one-on-one, or even him by himself. That's where you guys end up getting held to one shot. However, I think that JJ Redick made a mistake in this game. I think he tried to experiment to see if he could stick with this lineup and see if he could win with this lineup for the rest of the game. I don't think that he's going to do that again. And I think that James will get more rest. I think that Luka will get more rest. I think that Reeves will get more rest. But I said this before the series started that if Minnesota was going to take care of the Lakers, they have to do it fast. And this is where we are. We're in Game 5. So if they're going to win this series, I think that they got to.
But wouldn't the fatigue be more on the Lakers side than the Wolves side down the stretch of a series?
And the reason why I don't think that the reason why I don't think that is because, again, if you can get James more in rotation, right, where he doesn't have to play the entire second half. I mean, Swiper, he spends $1 million on his body. I mean, this is what he's doing it for. Now, of course, you can't run him into the ground. I'm not saying that part. No, I'm definitely not saying that. I'm not saying that you got to run him into the ground. What I am saying, though, however, is you do have to get him some rest, and not much rest, because this Minnesota team.
But I think the point is, they got 3 other players they're bringing off their bench that are starters. And Mars, again, that's why I definitely want you to interact here. But I think that's the problem. It's like, okay, like we play Bron less minutes, but we're still bringing Reed and, you know what I mean, and Dante and
offensively
off the bench.
Tricky. Offensively,
but even defensively, like none of those players are sieves defensively. Nas is obviously not.
Well,
like
DFS is actually supposed to be a rotation guy, and right. So DFS is a solid defender. Vando is a solid defender. So with that,
Vando can't play though. You see the series.
Problem. That's the problem. Because we got to have guys make open shots, and the fact that he can't, that's definitely going to be a big problem for them. So if Minnesota's gonna end this series, they got to do it tomorrow night. End it.
Yo, Mars, talk to us about what you've seen in this series, how you feel about this series, and specifically last game. What stood out to you?
I think the better team is winning the series. I think Anthony Edwards was amazing last night. I think Julius Randle was really good. I think for the most part, everyone on the Timberwolves has been really good, besides Nikhil and Rudy.
Yeah.
But everyone else, I think, has been really good. I think the depth is becoming more and more apparent. That depth is probably the most important thing. Versatility, all of those things that I guess gets pushed to the wayside a lot in the postseason, I think is coming to fruition that they're more important than just top end talent. I think we're at a point where you can have 2 of the 3 best players in the series and not be the better team and lose a series, and it's not because your best players aren't good enough. You're only as strong as your weakest link. I think that's probably a big thing. I also think everyone who is pushing to say that JJ Redick is one of the 5 or 10 best coaches in the NBA was drastically wrong. I will once again say I'm very passionate on not knowing the full extent of what coaches are doing. So I don't want to speak with too much definitiveness. But I also can recognize that when a team is just ISO switch hunting the whole game, that's on coaching. And I can figure that out just watching the game. So that I'm not buying into that. I think the Lakers' offense is a bigger problem than their defense, in my opinion. And their defense
based on what, Mars? Based on what, Mars?
Based on the fact that their plan is once again to ISO switch hunt the whole game. That's all they're doing. Every single possession. Rudy's out there. Okay, we're gonna hunt him. Mike Conley's out there. We're gonna hunt him.
That hasn't been working.
Julius Randle and Nas Reed is out there. We're gonna hunt him. That's all they're doing the whole time. It's quite infuriating to watch when you have 2 of the smartest offensive players you've ever seen, and you're doing nothing to get them in advantage situations. You're just asking them to isolate and then play 5-on-5. As a coach, it's meant to be your job to try and generate a numbers advantage, and they're doing nothing to try and do that. They're just trying to play 5-on-5 basketball and hope that they can out-talent the Timberwolves, and it's not working. Playing the whole second half thing, outside of LeBron, I don't really have a problem with that. Like, you're basically in a do or die game. If your 26-year-old superstar can't play 24 straight minutes,
he couldn't.
And all your role players, like, quite frankly, all they're doing is standing around on offense. So, like, if they can't play the whole second half, when all they're doing on offense is standing around, that's a concern. The only one who I would be like, you probably need to get them a breather is Bron. And part of that is because he's been your best defensive player in the series too. Like, that's a concern. So, yeah, I think the Timberwolves have been the better team. I am rooting for a 3-1 comeback. I always think they're cool when they happen. So I would like to see that happen, but I wouldn't bet on it happening. So that's where I stand. Also, shout out to Julius Randle. Everyone knows I've been pessimistic, to say the least, about Julius Randle and his contributions.
Yes.
But since he's been back from his injury, he's been great. I said on Twitter before this series started that in theory this could be a really good Julius Randle series, and it's been just that. Really good attacking mismatches, hasn't been a ball stopper, really good defensively, like Swiper alluded to. So I'm really happy that Julius Randle has.
What do you attribute that to? The defense from Julius taking this kind of a leap. Is it more of an effort thing and the scheme around
I
him,
think
personnel?
some of it's an effort thing. Some of it is his biggest weakness defensively is his off-ball stuff, but they're constantly trying to put him in the action on the ball.
Yeah.
And the best case scenario for Julius Randle is guarding bigger wings who aren't faster than him, but he can match their physicality. And that's what the Lakers have. Bigger wings who aren't faster than him, especially Luka, and he can match their physicality. So he's holding up a lot better defensively than he would like if he were to guard against like Anthony Edwards. He would look a lot worse. So like I think it's just a good matchup for Julius Randle, and I think he's doing a really, really good job. I didn't know Anthony Edwards was leading the Timberwolves in rebounding. Didn't know that.
Well, that's because Rudy only plays
yeah, because he can't stay on the court. But
Rudy only plays about 25 minutes a game.
Respect Mars. The defense is really good with him out there.
I'm not saying he can't stay on the court because of his offense, not his defense. The defense has been amazing. His offense just sucks. But that's all I really have on the series. So.
Yeah. First off, what's good, Austin? What's good, Ox?
What up, y'all?
Appreciate y'all for coming through. I do want to throw these minutes on the screen, and while I'm throwing this on the screen, I also want to let you guys know that I do want to talk some more about Anthony Edwards and how spectacular he's been. Also, Mars shouted out Julius Randle, but this is what he's doing this series. He's playing about 40 minutes a game. He's giving you 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and he's shooting 45% from 3. So definitely shout out to Julius Randle. But let's get on this whole minutes thing. This is something that I would like to talk about. As you can see, these are the minutes that were played over the whole game, but all 5 of these players played in the second half. That's Rui Hachimura, Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Dorian Finney-Smith.
Well, just to be clear, Denver did this literally the day before. So, I mean, some of this is like.
And what happened, Swiper?
They won, but they collapsed a 24-point lead. I think because of fatigue.
This is the only point I'm making about the Swiper.
No, you collapsed a 24-point lead because of a zone defense. But
if the Lakers
blows my mind, by the way, like all of a sudden,
because of his own,
Denver doesn't know how to play against.
Yeah, that's an Adam conversation for later.
Zone defense. I watched it, but anyway, we can get back to the Lakers. But
if the Lakers would have won this game, JJ Redick will be praised and called a genius for this.
Yeah.
But since they lost, and y'all correct me if you believe I'm wrong, since they lost, now JJ's a terrorist. Now he's in Darvin Ham territory.
What would have happened if they would have won this game, Ron? What are we doing if they would have? Because they played the whole second half, and if they win this game, is this even a topic of conversation?
No, maybe it is just because it's the Lakers. But people would say he pushed the chips all in. He did what he had to do. He's a grimy, gritty coach. He basically went with the stars, and the stars carried him to the promised land. That would be the narrative. He's a smart coach for not going to these other guys. But now they lose, and now, LeBron's 40. You can't do this. Luka's not in shape. You can't do this. JJ, why would you not go to your rotation? I don't know.
I think it's tough. I mean, at the same time, I look at the Timberwolves. They just have a young, athletic team, but when I look at the Lakers, I mean, like you guys said earlier, it's the offense. The offense just it's not even what it was at the end of the regular season. It's so much isolation. It's so much hunting man-to-man. It's so much just and isolation so far from the basket. I wouldn't have a problem if LeBron was posting up every once in a while, trying to go out and mismatch, trying to get the ball out from the post out to the perimeter for open threes. But it's all at the top of the key with 4 guys looking behind the defender, looking at the ball, ready to play defense. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. But when I watched the beginning of the game, I thought Jackson Hayes gave him a good energy, caught a lob. I think it's some effort plays trying to get some offensive boards.
Austin, 3 fouls in like 6 minutes? Get Jackson ass off the floor.
Man. But you can't play a minute in the second half? A minute, not a one lob. The only lob threat on the team, you can't get a minute in the second half? I feel like it's kind of strange. It may be frustrating, but you've never seen a playoff team win series without one key guy from the bench. Although Rui Hachimura is back and forth, you don't know if you're going to get what you're going to get from every night. But there's always been certain guys off the bench to give you something, whether it's 8 points, 6 points, 10 points, they can give you something. So, I mean, it's hard because you can't win a series with just 5 guys. You can't win a series with 6 guys. It's got to be that 7th, 8th guy to come through in a series. That's how it's always been. It's always been like that. So it may not be like even for a team like the Warriors, although Steph is putting up these points, it's always that one guy who makes a little bit of difference in that game. Like Gary Payton II made a big difference in that game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just always like that. You got to find which guy that is off the bench. It's hard to do that in a game like that, but a coach has to kind of figure out which guy it's going to be off the bench to try to make an impact.
But with what you just said, we have a heavy isolation player in Luka. That's what he's been throughout the course of his career. James also has been as good a distributor as James is. He's been an isolation player throughout the course of his career. So now we're going to put both of these guys together, and we expect, even though it should be, a lot more action, a lot more cuts to the basket because you got heavy isolation players. But we expect James to now not be an isolation, especially in the playoffs, or Luka to be less of an isolation player, this is what he's been his whole career.
My only question, Chill, to that is, and you guys answer this as well. If LeBron played and Luka played for a coach that had a different type of stature, there's only a couple out there, like Greg Popovich, maybe Spoelstra, some other coaches that kind of have a system in place to where when things like that get stagnant, there is a catch at the elbow and some movement, some cutting, some screening, something. I don't understand why there's so much ISO, although I know it's the 4-out 1-in system that a lot of coaches want to run and a lot of pick and roll, but you're not getting anything easy. And I think that's the reason why Luka missed those 2 easy baskets in the fourth quarter that he was so irate at himself for missing. But he didn't get a shot close to the rim within 10 feet and was open all game. But he can't post up McDaniels, even though McDaniels is taller. He's much bigger. He can't get the ball on the elbow. He can't get the ball just running down the court and let Austin Reeves bring up the ball. It's tiring to do that the whole game, to bring up the ball against pressure and then play pick and roll. It's tiring to do that. Although those guys may want to do it, at certain times in the game as a coach, I maybe would take the ball out of their hands and try to get it to them in certain spots. Because it's tiring to be, especially if you're going to play 24 minutes in the second half. Especially
their clutch offense has been Luka iso ball, like consistently since February though. So like this is nothing new. I think Lakers fans have complained about this for quite some time now. That why is it that everybody's standing around while Luka just does that down the stretch of games? It's worked out a couple of times, but I think that's the problem. It's like, again, I think it's important. And, you know, again, somebody can correct it if I'm wrong, but Luka has basically a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio.
In this series?
Yes, in the series.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because
they're literally just saying,
they're making him a scorer.
yeah, just do what you got to do. Yeah, like we have multiple defenders, and if you feel like you can just shoot over the top all game, fine. Now he made his first half.
You know why that's the case, though, Swiper?
Go ahead.
You know why they're able to do that? Because they're living with Luka shooting a step back 3. Mm-hmm. Now, to Austin's point, if Luka was to put one of these boys in the trunk, say, come down here with me to deep water. I guarantee you they send that double team.
And my only thing is too is you have 2 guys. 2 guys are probably the top 3-4 passers in the league. You got 2 guys, and that's why it bothers me to see some of the offense that's getting run. But I understand it because the game has changed so much to the Warrior style offense. Everyone's trying to do it, but when you don't have the personnel to really do it, like those double teams are not the same. Like those double teams on Luka were not the same as they are on Steph. Let's just be real. They're not as violent. They're slow out there trying to just get the ball out of his hands. It's not a run and jump everywhere. They're trying to just corral him and keep him in front. So when you watch the game and you see him get doubled at half court, you see him get doubled all over the court, why not try to get the double? Get the double team on the block, because then you know at least a swing corner 3 is coming. You know certain shots are going to come, and those role players, those guys live for those shots. It's hard to live for a shot that you're not unsure of getting. You know when Joel Embiid, Jokic, or some guys get doubled on the block and they hit that first guy on the top of the key, that next guy is rotating, the next guy rotating, and you're living and you're shooting that 3 ball in the corner at like a 40-something% clip rather than a 30% clip when you're getting it with 5 seconds left on the clock. I just think that the Lakers offense really could just do a lot more for themselves if they try to get the ball a little bit closer to the basket.
They've never really been They've never really been a heavy action off the basketball ball movement type of team. It's always been James pick and roll, James pick and dive, James pick and pop with Austin Reeves. Luka's got the ball, Luka's 1-on-1, and If the ball is moving around the perimeter, the ball is moving around the perimeter. Just with it moving around the perimeter, there's nobody screening for each other. Nothing like that is going on. So when you get into the playoffs, and Austin, you can appreciate this because you've been in the NBA. When you get into the playoffs, we highlight that sort of stuff. They don't move the ball very much. And when they do move the ball, nobody else is moving. So it kind of defeats the purpose of moving the ball if we just standing around. So we're closing out hard on Luka, but we're not going to close out hard on Gabe Vincent. That's why it looks like these guys are moving. When in reality, all of these dudes are doing is just standing around in the perimeter and the ball's moving. That's it.
And when I look at it, it's crazy because I look at the players that they have, and I feel that LeBron is, even with Julius Randle, who's a bigger power forward nowadays, you would say, LeBron's still bigger than him. LeBron can still draw fouls against.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Why don't you like that, Swiper? He's 6'9", he's 250. Julius Randle.
Julius Randle is about a young tank, so I mean he ain't he big.
Put Julius Randle in the basket.
No, they both big though. Like I'm saying, they both swole.
Yeah,
they both on the swole scale.
He has been going at him too, Ron. And when I say going at him in terms of the physicality, he's been going at James.
How hard is it for Austin Reeves to bring the ball up and do a cross screen, down screen? Like I'm sorry, it's not rocket science to where like it's so difficult to run a simple play. Like you can do that in an off day, create.
But what is Luka supposed to do off the ball, like in the clutch? I guess because that's not been his story.
LeBron has to do.
Yes, screen, slip screens, dive.
We had a whole argument about Luka and these screen and cuts a couple months ago.
Yes, screen, slip, fade.
That's what I want to ask. That's what I want to ask, Swiper. Is because
right quick. Just let me read this $100 super chat, and I want to hear your thoughts about the whole game and your thoughts on this specific point in the conversation. But my man Arch said, "My boy Chill will not waste this chance to hate on Luka. From a hater to a hater, I respect it." Chill, to a hater today?
As you were saying, Ox.
Go ahead, Chill.
I got nothing for this. I got nothing because I said Luka's a heavy isolation player. I'm hating. That's what he is. So go ahead, Ox. As you were saying.
Talk to us, Ox. How you feel about where we're at in the conversation?
When I was just bringing up what Austin had said about Luka put him in the trunk. Swiper brought up with the conversation we had about Luka cutting and moving on ball, and that just brings me back to what Mars said about your 26-year-old superstar should be able to play 24 minutes in a game like this, where I need you to play 24 minutes in the second half. And so I'm saying, is he not putting them in the trunk because he don't got nothing in the tank? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this a conditioning thing, or I'm just serious question? You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
That's what the LA media said. By the way, they're saying that he's not in good enough shape, and that's part of the problem.
Luka himself said that fatigue can't be an issue at this point in the season, so he's not.
Well, he's not trying to give himself an excuse.
He's not attributing it to this.
He's not in good enough shape, Box. I think for what it looks like.
We can all attest to that. Maybe that's true, but at the same time, no one's helping anybody, and I've heard Tracy McGrady say, no one's helping anybody by having your best player on the floor bring the ball up the court against pressure the entire game. That don't help anybody. There's no reason why you can't hand the ball off to Austin Reeves, who's a decent ball handler, hand the ball off to somebody else, and have these guys come off just one screen to see if you can get a curl.
Let's not asking for a lot, Austin. We're not saying come off a double, just one.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying you have to do a lot. Just see what happens with that one down screen. That one down screen with Mike Conley guarding somebody or whoever, a smaller player, Anthony Edwards guarding somebody down screen against LeBron, and see what Anthony Edwards wants to do against a down screen. Make them make a decision and get the ball close and see if you can get them in foul trouble early. I just don't like the plan. The plan is just not working, and the plan of just letting Luka isolate and having see if they can outshoot and out gunsling them, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. That's a coaching issue, right? I mean, I've been getting comments and all types of IG messages and stuff about me being critical about these coaches in the playoff.
That's the crazy thing is like, it's crazy because I'm not in. I may want to get into coaching, or I may want to do something else. But the thing is too is like as an assistant, you don't want to step on toes and talk about things that you may see at times too. But you also want to put your input in or in certain situations that you feel comfortable with. But at the same time, I look at even when I watched the Nets a couple years ago when Steve Nash was the coach, it was bothering me so much watching Marcus Smart guard Kevin Durant 94 feet and him having to bring the ball up and play pick and roll. I'm like, why are you having a 7-footer bring the ball up against a 6'5" guard and with heavy pressure and not just have him come off a down screen where he's unguardable or just have him catch the ball on the elbow where he's unguardable. Like Dirk Nowitzki made a living off the free throw line. Like other guys, like Paul Pierce made a living right inside the 3-point line with 1 dribble, 2 dribbles. Like a lot of guys have. Tracy McGrady, all these guys have. And I think LeBron has a skill set now, even more than he did when he was younger, to dominate from the post if he really wanted to. It's just kind of weird to me that they're not trying to take advantage of at least Luka and LeBron's size in the third and fourth quarter. When McDaniels can't hang with Luka in the post, I really don't think so. We'll see. I would like to see it. But I would like to see McDaniels guard Luka on the elbow sometimes with some action.
Because we don't live in that space. We live in the space of ball handling. We live in the space of crossing guys over. We don't live in the space of going through advantages. We don't live in that space. If I got a smaller guy on me, the logical thing is to take him to the block, especially with an elite passer like Luka. If I got a guy in James that's 6'9", who now is older, who is the consummate 4 in today's game, if we're thinking about it. He's the consummate 4 in today's game. Let's go to the box and let's work off of James. Nah, what we're going to do is we're going to put James in action on the wing and pick and roll and pick and dive, and we're going to give him the ball where he's shooting threes. That's where we are the most effective. In reality, no, we're not.
Tell me I'm wrong though in the situation where I agree with Chill and I agree even with Ox. Like, I just don't understand why you can't have multiple packages to your offense to where, like, all right, if we're playing against a team that's switching, we're going to try to do this. We're playing against a team that's hedging, all right, we're going to try to do this. We're playing against a team that's just pushing us to the sideline, we're going to try to do this. This team was obviously trying to switch mainly at the end of the game and then try to stay at times too. So when they're playing defense like this, why don't we break it down and do something different than what we're supposed to be doing against a hedge defense, than what we're supposed to be doing against a push defense? Why are we running the same offense that's obviously not going to work against this style of defense right here? And they're going small. So LeBron catching the ball one step closer to the basket, having to take one less dribble with less eyes being just key on him, being able to take one dribble to the rim and get fouled, get a layup, shoot a jump shot, get a pass off. I'd much rather put him in that situation to where he can take one dribble, 2 dribbles, and just pull up, take a fadeaway. I mean, I don't know.
Well, Austin, that would require them to actually play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be a requirement. I'm watching Milwaukee versus the Pacers. And now I understand that when you have these superstar players, that they're not gonna just like run a bunch of set plays every time down. And I understand it. I'm fine with that. I know that you want to get to some ISO, but when I see Giannis Antetokounmpo standing with the ball at the top of the key and he's just dribbling, doing hezzies at Miles Turner doing this, and then he just shoots the ball, I'm like, bro, this is one of the best players in the world. You can run a play to get a good look for him. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. I think they're ashamed to have to run a set to get a good look. I don't understand what's happening. It's like, are you embarrassed that you have to play basketball? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Can we all
agree? I know it's not every time and every team and every coach. I'm just saying there's just certain times I'm just like, bro, y'all can run something right now.
Can we all acknowledge that this is a functional problem in the NBA? That teams don't want to play on the. My biggest thing is, I know you guys are saying run offense, and that is a problem too. My biggest thing is players just playing in the post. LeBron and Luka quite literally, are 2 of the best post players in the NBA, regardless of size. We see Jalen Brunson post up players bigger than them. If Jalen Brunson can do it, LeBron and Luka can make a living in a.
Well, the reason why, Ron, is because we live in a long ball era. This is where we live.
That's what I'm saying. It's a functional problem.
Yes,
this is what I'm saying. Though,
playing on the box isn't cool.
Just because you do this doesn't mean that I need to do that.
Yes,
I don't know if it sells tickets, Ron.
Do you want to win a championship? I bet
playing on the box isn't cool. No, shooting the long ball.
It's not about cool, don't you?
I don't think NBA teams care about looking cool.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe.
So if that's the case, then Mars, why are all of them doing the same?
Who are they boxing?
They're not all doing the same thing. Like they're not all doing the same thing. I'm not subscribed. The Lakers are the only team playing this type of nonsense. I'm watching the play. You're not about to convince me that OKC aren't running sets or aren't playing basketball in a very good way.
I'm talking about the long ball line. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm just talking about.
But they don't shoot more threes than other teams, though. Like, but even that, like, they're creating advantages. Their whole offense has been creating advantages since Luka got there. Like, the entire offense, it's a Luka offense for the most part.
Yeah, I'm not turning the Lakers' problems into a league-wide epidemic. It's the Lakers' problems are the Lakers' problems. It's not a problem for the NBA. If you're watching,
you want to watch sets being run.
the Cavs are playing beautiful basketball right now. Are they shooting a lot of threes? Yes, but they're playing
just like the Celtics.
The Celtics are creating a lot of
Mars,
threes.
that's not the point that I'm making.
Lakers are doing. You said they're playing the same. That's what you said.
Yes, these other
teams.
I'm not just talking about I'm not talking about just in the playoffs. I'm talking about across the league.
I disagree with you.
Because so if I see the Chicago Bulls shooting 53s, because why? Because the Celtics are doing it.
But the Lakers don't shoot.
That's my point, Mars. They're not. So you shouldn't be doing it.
That doesn't mean you're playing the same because the end product
exactly what it means.
The end result being a 3 doesn't mean every team's playing the same.
You're not good enough to do what they're doing. That's
the
not
end result being a 3 does not mean every team's playing the same. And the only teams that are really copying the Celtics maybe are the Bulls and the Hornets. That's it. No other team is copying that formula. OKC doesn't play like Boston. Cleveland doesn't play like Boston. The Knicks shoot barely any threes. They don't play like Boston. The Pacers don't play like Boston. The Pistons don't play like Boston. The Wolves don't play like Boston. The Nuggets definitely don't play like Boston. The Houston Rockets definitely
the Pistons don't play like the Celtics. They don't shoot the long ball, Mars. Are you kidding me? The Pistons with both Michael Beasley,
they're taking 31. They're taking 31 threes a game right now. Boston taking 42. They're near the bottom of the league.
But chill. I don't think Mars is necessarily saying about the fact that they're shooting threes. I think it's talking about more so the way they're getting to their threes.
Right. That part I'm not arguing.
I'm not even saying they are, Mars. All I'm saying is that I think Mars is more so talking about the process of it. And to that point, Mars, I'm not saying every team is doing this or doing that. Yep. I'm just saying that there are times in the basketball game where you need to get a good look. And once again, I'm not talking about every team. I'm not talking about OKC in particular. I'm talking about a lot of NBA basketball teams. I feel like are relying on their superstar to play ISO basketball in certain situations when in fact I think they can get a better look if they were to run an actual basic play. I'm talking about Austin said you could screen across, screen down, stuff like that. There's certain just simple quick hitters that I think that these NBA teams could lean on more often than Giannis Antetokounmpo standing around the 3-point line, dribble, pull up. And I know that's not an every time down situation, but when it happens in late game situations, I just don't think it's a good look for their offense.
But they also run a 5-out offense, Chill. They don't have the person. Who does? The Lakers. The Lakers run a 5-out offense to generate the best shot possible. So they don't have a big. They don't screen and roll. Even if you play pick and roll versus them, you're switching versus the Lakers because they're not, like, unless it's Rudy. But even Rudy is switching. So like they're not even able to create like certain advantages. So when they do get down to the post, like okay, so now you're taking Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the post and you're getting like weak side flash help from Rudy or Nas or whoever else. It's just a more difficult shot. They've been getting largely good looks. Even in the fourth quarter yesterday, they got open threes. They just missed those open threes, and then on the other end, Minnesota made their threes.
Yes, he did.
But also too, it's just like they're playing a play style based on where the personnel is today, and their best 5 is the Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith with the big 3. And that's the best unit they have on the court. And they're constantly getting jumpers or they're trying to drive and create contact. LeBron James got 20 free throws yesterday damn near?
Yeah.
Like that's what it was. It's like LeBron was right trigger, and get to the rim and get to the line and then go to the free throw line and you convert. Luka Doncic just doesn't have that ability consistently versus this Wolves team to beat them like that. Austin Reeves, this whole series, he ain't been irrelevant. But the Wolves have basically just said, you're not beating Nickeil, Nas, Rudy, and even Mike Conley off the dribble consistently. So they're basically just saying, we're going to shade, we're going to help off weak side, we're going to make sure that there's not a bunch of gaps available for Luka Doncic, but you better shoot over the top of us. And I think, Chill, I think you're not, I'm not saying you're doing this maliciously. I don't think you're giving enough credit to the Wolves defense and how they actually have defended the Lakers, because they haven't been giving them constant penetration. They've also they've been switching everything. They're not playing drop a lot. Even Rudy Gobert has switched a lot and also performed well in those switches.
I think Rudy's done a great job defensively. I think
they're just not conceding advantages.
Well, first of all, with the Lakers offense, I don't think it's that difficult when you got 5 guys out and you don't have anybody that's consistently trying to get to the basket. Like, so Luka, for all intents and purposes, he's trying to get to the basket. James has shot a lot at the long ball line. Austin Reeves also. I mean, I think he yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, he missed 4 wide open threes, 4 of them. In addition to him missing 4 wide open threes, All you getting from Dorian Finney-Smith is at the long ball line. You're not getting anything else from him getting downhill. So I'm not gonna say that Minnesota's defense hasn't been great, because I think their defense has been great against this Lakers team. I think the difference is that the Lakers aren't making it difficult on them as much as the Warriors would with more action, as much as Steph Curry would as moving off the basketball, as Jimmy Butler would getting downhill. I don't think the Lakers are doing that. The Lakers are relying a lot on just moving the ball around and closing out hard on Luka, closing out hard on James at the long ball line, and then Finney-Smith is open, and it looks like it's good offense, when in reality, it's not. And
well,
they're not getting it.
Luka's also driving 17.5 times a game in the series, by the way, Chill. So, like,
and I haven't really seen, and to be honest with you, with him getting in the paint, with him getting in the paint, I mean, I've seen him convert a few times, but like I said, other than him, they're not getting a lot of other guys getting downhill. Austin Reeves isn't getting much at the rim. Neither is Rui. I think Rui had 5 threes yesterday. He shot 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So he's an
off-ball spot-up shooter too, functionally, right. Chill.
And I think the Minnesota defense, that's a testament to them, what they've been doing to be able to guard both Rui, with the exception of yesterday, because I thought he was really good at the long ball line. But this Minnesota defense has been great, and I think it's primarily due to them rebounding. They hold the Lakers to one shot, right? They only hold the Lakers to one shot, and because they only hold the Lakers to one shot, you guys don't have a lot of opportunity to score in other spaces. So that's a problem for them. 100% it is.
All right, fellas. I do want to play the clip of JJ Redick talking about why he did what he did in the second half. But before I do that, what's going on, everybody in the chat? First off, my man Christopher Cooper said Brunson is the best guard in the East. We're going to get to Jalen Brunson, and we are going to definitely get to that Knicks and Pistons series. We're going to do that coming up right next. But shout out to Jalen Brunson. He's been putting on a masterclass in this series. What's good, Ox?
Before you get to that JJ clip, can we just get a quick chant started on the panel? Everybody with me.
What's that?
BLA. BLA. Come on, Mars. BLA. Swiper, come on, Swiper. BLA.
I'm not partaking, man. Lakers and 7, man. I don't
oh, man, come on, Swiper. I thought you was a real Laker.
I said it before the series started. If Minnesota was going to get rid of these dudes, they had to do it fast, and I don't like their chances.
So you still feel that way?
Yeah, they got to get rid of them fast. They have to. They got to get rid of these dudes. They do.
But what are you going to do about it though? Like Luka,
chill us, Piper, right quick before we even get deep into this conversation. I want to let you guys know that there's a beautiful app that you guys should tend to, and it's called Prize Picks, where you can run your game, control your game, and win your game. Salute to Prize Picks, and salute to a special promo that they got going on right now called Takes to Tickets. Now, when you download the app and you use promo code PANEL, every time you make a $5 3-picks flex NBA lineup during the playoffs, you will be entered into a sweepstakes to win tickets courtside at the NBA Finals. This will be going on all the way until May 26th, so you have just over a month to qualify for this. So make sure you download the app, make sure you use promo code PANEL, and make sure you get in them $5 3-pick NBA flex lineups during the playoffs. And let me show you guys the flex lineup that we have for today. We got Jalen Green more. Let's go, baby. Get them buckets, JG. Get them buckets. 18.5. We got Jalen Green going. Well, personally, I got Jalen Green going for 30 tonight, but all he has to do is get 18.5. We'll get to that game here in a little bit. Tyler Hero, PRA, 34.5 more. Let's go, Tyler. Get money. And then we got Darius Garland, 16.5 points. To close out Miami, that's not too much, right? And then last but not least, we got Steph Curry, 27.5 less. That's how we rock it. Jalen Green more and Steph Curry less. It's good money, right, y'all? Good money.
We're gonna talk about Curry,
don't follow the panel's picks. That's a disgraceful matter.
I'm saying though, chill. We are gonna talk about Steph Curry, right? Right.
I don't think we have to.
Yeah. No, we don't have to, Mars.
They ain't played yesterday. We only talking about the games.
That's the most dangerous man walking. I'm trying to go to that.
We ain't go to that.
Curry, man.
What's good, Austin?
Just want to make sure we're gonna. That's the only reason why I came here today was.
Oh yeah. We gonna get to that.
Let's do that.
This Curry glaze is ridiculous.
Yes, sir. He's so glazable, boy.
No, as soon as I found out that Austin was coming, I knew exactly why he was coming here today. I knew
I
exactly.
thought he was coming to just talk hoop.
No,
I didn't know he was
no.
coming to push the
Now
Jennings.
this
way.
fucker who
I knew
wants
exactly
that's
why
good.
he
We ain't gonna
coming.
talk about him. What we talking about?
No, I knew exactly what he was doing here.
And Mars,
It's
nothing to you because I know you're a Rockets fan. I know, and I said they had a chance in the series. I really did think they had a chance.
We still do. Don't act like we don't anymore.
I still do, especially because Jimmy's hurt. But that man has been carrying a workload all season.
I wouldn't play him for the rest of the series. To be honest.
Oh my gosh, and he might have to.
I wouldn't play him for the rest of the series.
I wouldn't play Steph for the rest of the series either.
Yeah, I would. I think they can beat Houston without him. I do.
Yeah. Me too.
That says a lot about Houston, by the way. To be clear, if he can do that.
And to see Jalen Green say to Draymond after the game, "Yo, you're gonna see me on Monday." What happened right here today? What happened when we was right here today? Why you gotta wait till Monday? I'm sorry.
Look, I literally had to hear Rockets fans tell me leading to and I'm not telling this is dead truth what happened. Rockets fans tell me in playback that Amin Thompson was going to be the best player in the series because the defense he was playing on Steph. And here we go. Crazy. Steph Curry, 29 points per game, 7 assists, 69 true shooting on 53, 45, 93 splits.
Swipe it. Didn't I tell you that little ass boy don't got nothing for the chef?
To be fair, Amen hasn't been like.
I'm looking it up.
Amen hasn't even been Steph's best defender. It's been Fred VanVleet.
I like how Jalen's been guarding.
He's been competing, but Steph is right now be the best shooter to ever exist when Jalen Green.
Shouts, Mars.
But yeah, Amen has had a bad series thus far.
That's a good question, Max.
We gonna get to this series, y'all. We gonna get there. Before we do, because we still got to talk about Anthony Edwards. I don't think we've shown him enough love yet. But before we do that, though, let me just play this clip for you guys.
Mm-hmm. We do have to talk about Anthony Edwards.
All right, y'all let me know if y'all can hear this. This is what JJ had to say.
The change of the lineup to start the second half and went with those guys the whole way through. Was that planned from the start, and how did you kind of manage what you were going to do?
No, it wasn't planned, but we just made the decision at halftime.
Made the change of the lineup to start the second half and went with those guys the whole way through. Was that planned?
What does that mean? It wasn't planned. We just rolled with it. I mean, it wasn't like the game wasn't going on, and you recognized throughout the course of the game that you got the same 5 out there. What am I missing?
Yeah, he just said that they didn't come into the game with that plan, but at halftime,
I got desperate.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's just saying at halftime they just made that adjustment and rocked with it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think I'm with Ox a little bit. I'm two sides here. One, that's a lot of minutes. It is. But Ox, to your point,
the
only person that really should be affecting is LeBron because you need 40. But it still is a lot of minutes, and they did get exhausted. I've seen it happen. But on the third point, if we hadn't just seen a team do this with the entire starting 5 have 42 to 43 minutes played, then I think I could, I think we would, be a little.
We did just see that, and especially like
4
of those dudes are unplayable. So
in that game 3 they were. So that's what I'm saying. Like this was. I'm not gonna say I think the Lakers still won the trade, but obviously they did. But I do think Luka needs to he does need to get on his horse a little bit.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw last year, and you can straighten me out if I'm wrong, but I saw last year in the playoffs, I think it was game 6, Philly and the Knicks.
Yep.
That second half, Jalen Brunson sat out for 2 minutes and 15 seconds of that second half. And Hartenstein sat out for 3 minutes of that second half. That's it. They played the entire they played the rest of those guys played the entire game. Just those 2 guys. Jalen Brunson sat out for 2 minutes.
You said what was the second
half? I want to say game 6
game
against
6.
I want to say game 6 Philly and the Knicks. I think Jalen Brunson sat off about 2 minutes of the second half, and Hartenstein sat off about 3 minutes of the second half. The entire second half. And I mean, this isn't nothing new. I've seen this before with Tibbs, so this isn't anything new.
Yeah, I mean,
May 2nd. Let me see.
I don't think that's the biggest takeaway of a coaching decision from last night, but I would have just tried to get Bron some rest here and there, especially considering what he was doing on defense. But everyone else, I'm sorry, you gotta be able to play. I'm sorry.
He can't anchor your defense anymore. He can't. Not at the 5, he can't. No, not at the 4, he can't. He can't anchor your defense anymore, which goes back to my theory. That's priority number 1 in the offseason. Like, you guys are worried about signing Luka back or signing James back. Well, you got to get a 5-man in there. Before you do any of that, you got to get a rim protector. You got to get a big in there before you do any of that.
Yeah, Chill. That game you're referencing, Jalen Brunson played 21 minutes. Dante DiVincenzo played 24. OJ Anunoby played 24. Josh Hart played 24 in that game. Hart played 16, but they had 3 players. Three of their players played all 24 minutes, and they won the game versus 76ers.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Shout out to everybody that sent through super chats. We are going to get to those early because you guys are sending through some good super chats, and I want to acknowledge what you guys are sending through. Also, like the video, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and do all that good YouTube stuff. Now, fellas, as for Anthony Edwards, he's averaging 30, 8 and 6 so far in this playoff series, and that's what numbers rounded up. But it's looking like 38 and 6 right now against Luka and LeBron. His team is up 3-1. And on top of that, as of right now, it's looking like obviously they haven't won the series yet, but as of right now, remember last year they beat KD. Remember KD and Book. Then they knocked out Jokic. This year he's on his way to knocking out Luka and LeBron. How are we feeling about Anthony Edwards in totality as a player? Because I feel like not only is he a giant slayer in the playoffs, but also he's starting to knock on that superstar door.
Starting? What you mean starting? Anthony Edwards is a giant slayer. It's simple as that. Matter of fact, we talked about this playoffs 23. We talked about this playoffs in 23 when they were playing the Lakers. They lost to the Lakers, right? They lost to the Lakers in 23, right?
In the play-in.
In the play-in, right? Yeah.
No, they lost it.
We talked about Ant when he was trying to check Bron full court, and he just had that look in his eye, like he wants that. Like Anthony Edwards is one of those players that he's standing on. He got a bigger heart than most people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants that fade. He wants that smoke. There's no ducking in him. And when you got that type of mentality, and you can back it up with actual skill and actually being good at something, Anthony Edwards is a superstar. 100% he's a superstar. I asked yesterday in the first quarter, posted on Twitter, whatever. I asked, when are we going to acknowledge that he's better than Luka? I want to know, when are we going to have this conversation? We had this last year. We talked about it last year, Jill. Last year we talked about it and said, if Anthony Edwards does this, what's he going to be? I told you, if Anthony Edwards develops that jump shot and starts becoming a little bit more of a facilitator, there is no more conversation about him and Luka Doncic. And he did that. He was close. He exceeded what we thought he was going to do. Chill. He came out with the straight banger this year, a burner, and it works. It works. It's not jamming. It's not jamming when he needs it. I'm telling you, he better than Luka Doncic. I just want to know when we're going to admit this and have this conversation.
So he was closer. Like, we just had this conversation a couple of days ago. Like, at what point do I pass you as a player? At what point am I better than you as a player? So is it your estimation that he was? Is it your testament, Ox, that he was close to Luka last year? Was he close to Luka last year?
I think he was, but sure, that's irrelevant to me. You know how I feel about it. I don't care.
I don't think he was close to Luka last year. I don't
care what the gap was last year. This year,
I think it was a sizable gap.
So
we go from here to this. This is what we did. This is what we just done.
I'm not saying.
How about this then? How about this?
I'm just saying he's better than Luka. I'm not even. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm saying he plays defense. That's already the plus right there. That's all. Sure. That already. You know what I'm saying? Already the defense disparity is so crazy. It's so crazy. And the offense, there is no gap on offense.
Yes, it is. He's not the playmaker that Luka is. He ain't the distributor that Luka is.
That playmaking that Luka does, that shit is so hype.
No, I understand that Luka. I understand
the grenade launcher that Luka Doncic is.
He's not a grenade launcher like you say he is. He's actually more of a distributor than you give him credit for.
We just talked about it. We just talked about the fact that everybody has to stand around and watch Luka. Us also just talked about the fact that when you catch the ball 5 seconds up on the shot clock, How am I an all-time distributor and I'm throwing all these grenades?
Don't we have
You know
great
what I'm saying?
guys who've done that too? Like guys who get guys late in the shot clock, they ended up getting them bad shots. And Luka has done that. I ain't gonna argue that. He did that in Dallas when he was with Tim Hardaway. He did that in Dallas when he was with when he was with those other guys. I'm not gonna argue.
But look at Tim with Cade. Tim was unplayable in Dallas. He don't look unplayable with Cade.
And no, he doesn't. And
it's also the person.
I think it's
KP was unplayable in Dallas. He don't look unplayable with Jason Tatum.
I think it's incredible how we.
KP hasn't been good in this series, but I still get it.
No, he hasn't been. But I think it's interesting how we.
Jalen Brunson standing on.
He just grabs opportunity.
But I mean, throw that in there if you want to. Run. Matter of fact, yeah, come on, bring JB in this.
But at the same time,
Now,
it's always gonna be around the people you got with you too, though. The people you got with you gotta fit how you play. Like, do you really? I like the Lakers team right now, but at the same time, like Luka last year was so efficient and so tough to guard because you had, even though Gafford and Lively weren't great one-on-one players on the block, they were crazy athletes. So you had to respect their lob game and their 4-out 1-in offense. So I mean, at the same time, I like the Lakers, but the five smalls is not something that's gonna help Luka and help the Lakers to a point to where they'll get to the Western Conference Finals or a championship right now. I think that we were talking about the last time I was here is Jackson Hayes going to be that guy to make a difference in the playoffs, and he obviously has not been able to be that guy at all. You know? And I felt like last game he should have got. I know the foul trouble in the beginning of the game, but I thought he should have got another opportunity to get in the game and see if he could affect the game energy-wise or something that big. But, I mean, it wasn't given to him. So I also think, like, yeah, it does look – right now it looks like Anthony Edwards is a better player. But also the defensive coverage, the defensive scheme, it's definitely making Luka work a lot harder than he needs to. And also the offense. We talked about the offense. The quick hitters that we're talking about, they give Naz Reid a quick hitter right after a timeout. Boom, they hit it.
Yeah.
Wow. They give somebody else a quick hitter out of the timeout. Boom, it's a drive to the basket. But it's also like I'm saying too is like if Luka's only gonna have one assist, then let's have him have one assist and have him be a hockey. Give him hockey assists.
2 assists. Yeah.
Get the ball on the post, the post, and swing it, and then make sure that next guy is having a wide open guy in the corner.
Austin, if Luka Doncic was the tenacious defender that Anthony Edwards is, Anthony would have more problems on the offensive side of the ball, wouldn't he, Chip? I'm saying, like, when did there be? Because I mean, Luka, those dudes got to deal with a lot of defensive pressure, right? I mean, they got Anthony Daniels over there and over there playing defense. Everybody over there playing defense, right? If Luka was scoring the basketball and playing great offense and being the best distributor in the game, or whatever.
This is what we're gonna do. I
am curious to know how you feel about this, Chill. If Luka Doncic was playing that level of defense, wouldn't it and on the other side of the court have more to deal with?
Yes, he would have more to deal with. But again, what that is that's an if. And Luka has never been that level of defender, and he's never going to be that level.
100%.
So that's a disingenuous, right? So that's a disingenuous. And so I can say the same thing.
Disingenuous. This is basketball. Yes, it is. What if he played basketball? You can't just say, "Oh, well, he never played defense," so you can't talk about what if he played defense. How that work?
We have guys in this league. Who are exceptions. So if we're going to hold all of these guys to the same level that you're talking about, Ox, if we're going to hold these guys to the same level on defense that we hold them to on offense, if we're going to do that, then we got to do that for everybody, not just for the stars. We got to do that for everybody. We got to do that for Anthony Edwards. You know what, Anthony Edwards? You got to be better as a distributor. You got to be better as a playmaker. You got to be better in the paint. You got to make sure that you find open guys like Luka does on offense. If you're going to hold me to that standard,
do that, too.
No, you don't. No, you just told me that Luka is not better than Anthony Edwards just because on the defensive side of the basketball. Anthony Edwards,
not just because on the defense. I think Ant's just as good on offense.
No, he's not close to Luka on offense.
I think he is.
Not. How? What? Give me legit logic on how. So with this long ball, that
are you not watching Anthony Edwards play basketball?
I'm watching him score. I'm watching him knock down the long ball. I'm not going to argue that.
Real carryability. That's real carryability.
So Luka hasn't put a Mack truck on his back over the years. He hasn't done
I'm talking
that.
about today. You want me to gauge today based on last week?
Yes.
Last week is over. That shit is
Yes.
over with. I'm
Yes.
talking about what
The,
happened
the,
last
the,
night.
the reason why I want you to
But
do
Austin,
that.
what happened last night? What happened last night in Minnesota?
But that's what I'm saying too about the personnel. Like Luka could be put in the same boat as Allen Iverson in 2000. If he has a bunch
He's
of
playing
defenders
with
around,
Bron.
100%, and that's the
that
point.
part.
That's the point I'm trying to make. If he was playing with I'm not saying he needs to, but let's not be honest. LeBron at 40 years old trying to anchor a defense is crazy. If that was the Lakers,
that is crazy.
That's crazy. But at the same time, I know Rob is always going to stir the pot and try to create something and get something on the team and within the organization that's going to work. He's been able to do it. He's been spinning it for years. But at the same time, if you look at like Iverson in 2000, he wasn't an all-world defender. Even Jokic now, he's not an all-world defender, but he averages the most steals. Luka may not be the all-world defender, but you're asking him to switch out and guard Anthony Davis and bring the ball up full court against pressure defense and then initiate offense. That's not the same thing they're asking Anthony Edwards to do. And the reason why is because the Lakers don't even have the tenacious defenders to get over a screen and force Luka to get back to his man and then stay on Ant the whole time.
Ox, how do you
know
not
what I'm
see
saying?
that? He's not the ball handler. He's not in charge of the offense like Luka is. He's not the distributor like that Luka is. He doesn't draw the attention on offense that Luka does.
He
doesn't.
draw the attention.
What?
Wait a minute.
God damn it, Chill.
Chill, are you serious right now?
I'm dead serious.
I was with you until all three of those statements were
I'm
false.
staying quiet because Ron's meant to be reading our ads. I'm trying to get involved in the conversation. But Ron, can you do your job so I can get involved, please?
You do your job. Get in the conversation. Go.
But then you're gonna cut me off.
I'm
not
not
gonna
going
do
to cut
that.
you off. Go. You got it. Go.
I feel like I think Luka's a better player, but I don't do it how Ox does it. Ox does it. Who's playing better right now? I understand what he's saying. I think Luka's been the best player in the series.
For sure.
What I'm
Not
also
even a question.
is it sounds like in theory Luka gets more attention, but in reality, Ant's had way more defensive attention than Luka's had this series.
Mm-hmm.
We just spoke about it. The Timberwolves are playing Luka one-on-one, and quite frankly, taking away his playmaking. This is the second series in a row that we've seen a team do this to Luka, and his playmaking has been pedestrian. The finals last year and this series against the Timberwolves.
Yep.
You can't take away Anthony Edwards' playmaking because you can't guard him one-on-one.
Can't stay in front of him.
I understand. Luka is the better passer. Luka is worlds better as a passer than Anthony Edwards. But what I am saying
but if Luka was a better defender, they could double Ant too. They could do more.
This series, if you're trying to tell me that Anthony Edwards hasn't been a better playmaker than Luka in this series, I need an explanation as to how he hasn't been.
Ant was passing his ass off last night.
You know why, Chill? Because Ant said, I was watching Luka take.
Imagine that. That's where you get it from.
Okay,
but
can you explain to me how Luka's been a better playmaker than Ant in this series?
He hasn't in the series, but he can't be.
He has not been.
Of course he can be. When teams are blitzing him and they're putting two on the ball, Luka can make all of those reads. So you know what teams started doing? Not doing that.
It's
They
not
just
that
said,
elementary.
okay, we're not going to put two on the ball.
So now we're going to play him. So now we're going to play him one-on-one, and Luka's
And you
not
take
going to
away the playmaking.
And so now Luka being one of the best scorers in the game, Luka being one of the best
Who
one-on-one
scored
players in
better
the
in
game.
this series, Luka or Ant, in your opinion?
Who's been a better scorer
In this series.
I think Anthony Edwards has been a more efficient scorer, and I think he's been a better scorer in bigger
This logic is based on what's going on right now, which I can definitely get with that. This logic is based on a 3-game sample size, which you, Mars, have said to me countless times how you cannot go off a 3-game sample size.
I just said I started my segment with
But then you bring that into it though.
Yeah, no, I said no. Because if we're gonna have a conversation, we have to talk about what's being spoken about. Ox said explicitly when he evaluates who's a better player, he's looking at right now. It would be stupid of me to be like, well, I don't do it that way, so I'm just going to keep telling you what I do, and then no one's getting anywhere. So if we're going to talk to Ox brought this conversation up. He said Ant is better than Luka. So that means we have to have the conversation, quite frankly, on Ox's terms. His terms are Ant is playing better than Luka today. That's how I evaluate the better player. What good is it? What good is it for me to say over the season? What good is it for me to say? What good is it for me to say that, well, the way I do it is I look at who's been better for the last 3 years. So I'm going to keep disagreeing with you. Then we're not going to go anywhere. I'm having a conversation based on what Ox is saying. He is saying Ant has been better than Luka this year in this series. I think Ant is better than Luka. So with what Ox is saying, I'm saying I understand what he's saying. I still don't agree. I think Luka this season, even when he's been healthy, has been a better player. But what I'm also saying is the idea of Luka's playmaking is not the reality for what he's doing. The reality is teams are playing him one-on-one, and his playmaking has been worse than Anthony Edwards in this series. Teams are playing him one-on-one, and his scoring at best has been equal to Anthony Edwards in this series, who's being guarded by 3 people every single possession. And his defense has obviously been worse than Anthony Edwards in this series.
So maybe we need to make the adjustment of guarding Anthony Edwards one-on-one and letting Anthony Edwards
They are.
go
They are. But no. But to be fair, they are. They just can't stay in front of him, or he's shooting over the top.
So they're not guarding him one-on-one. They're
but I'm saying
they are double teaming him also. They're triple teaming him also.
There's one person
They're
guarding
loading
him.
up behind the play.
Yeah,
Because,
but
quite frankly,
which
look,
I do
they're
see.
hunting Luka Doncic.
Yes, they are.
And
They
he can't
definitely
stay in
going after
front,
him.
so they're having to collapse their whole
Yes,
defense.
exactly.
With the
because
OLED
of Luka's
right.
deficiencies on
I do
defense.
get that part. That part.
I mean, but what do you want them not to not help Luka? Just get driven by the entire game? Like, what do you want them to do? Like, what's the
What
other
can
option
they
there?
do?
Ox, I'm with you. Ox, he has to be better. Luka has to be better. This is not an excuse. But I'm saying, what else can they do?
I can't wait till. Oh my God.
Who? No. But even Rui got put on. Rui got put on an island yesterday.
No one on
And
the
he
Lakers
couldn't
roster
stay in
can
front of
him. No one on the Lakers.
But
roster
they
can
don't
stay in
have.
front
They
of
don't have.
him.
the
Besides
personnel to
maybe
guard him.
Vanderbilt. Besides maybe Vanderbilt. No one on the Lakers roster can stay in front of him.
Exactly, and he doesn't play a lot of those minutes.
Mhm.
And if you look at it too, there's only so many guys that can really guard Anthony Edwards throughout a game and not shut him down, but even give him some problems. He's one of the quickest 2 guards in the league. Like he's not the same person he was when he was wearing number 1.
Yep.
Right.
No.
But Austin, you'll see this is my thing. And I know Chill saying, oh, well, we know Luka's not a great defender. That is my point though, Austin, because you can see in the fourth quarter, 3 minutes left in the game, Ant has no problem switching on to Luka, switching on to Brown, switching on to anybody. You can't say Luka Doncic for reasons like that. Those are the type of reasons why I'm like, yo, this dude is.
We doing that. We doing that across the board. So what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do?
I don't care about no fairness.
Now on,
go ahead and do that, please.
Like you just said with Joker.
I've been wanting you to do that.
Like you just said with Joker. Like you just said with Luka. We're doing that across the board with everybody.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck
yes.
how amazing you are offensively. If you ain't on the offensive side of the basketball, if you ain't on the defensive side of the basketball, don't talk to me. So Steph Curry, when you go for
that's not what I said. But
no,
fine, that's cool.
He said he thinks Ant and Luka are equal on offense. I don't
Steph
see
Curry,
what
when
he's
you go
happening.
for 50, when you go for 50, but you can't guard, and Anthony Edwards is guarding, and he's going for 30, then Ant Edwards, you're better than Curry.
I got chill. We can do that. We can do that too. Chill. I got Ant over Steph too. I got Ant over Steph too. That's fine. We can do that all day, chill. All day.
Now on, no more guys are exceptional on the fact that you're exceptional on offense, like Joker, for example. Joker, the fact that you're exceptional on offense, the fact that you can't guard on defense, I can't talk about.
You got Ant over Jokic?
I can't.
Like,
that's where we have to go.
Can we
We can't stop with Luka. We got to go to Joker.
That's a myth, though.
No, you don't. Everybody. Now Joker moves down. Joel Embiid moves up because Joel Embiid is on the defensive side of the basketball.
Yeah.
Not just Joel Embiid. Anthony Edwards.
What I'm saying is
Anthony Davis. He moves up on the list because he's awesome on the defensive side of the basketball. In addition to being a bucket getter. So now we got.
So what are you saying? Chill. Defense don't matter if you can score the basketball.
No, what I'm saying is that there are exceptions on the offensive side of the ball. That's what I'm saying.
That's fine. That's fine. Chill. What I want you to understand is this. I'm not just saying, because a lot of people misconstrue this. I'm not saying that defense is the end all be all to basketball. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if this player can score with this player at the same rate, but this player actually can guard this player while this player has to run from this player, I'm giving this player the edge. I don't see what's wrong with that.
No, you know what? I'm going with you. I'm staying with you on that. So in the future,
I just don't see what's wrong with that.
Again, in the future, this is where I'm going. No more exceptions to offensive players. No more. So Magic, Curry, Joker, Luka. If you can't level up on the defensive side of the ball, you out.
Okay, but you making it seem like I just came up here and said Luka fucking sucks. He's terrible. Blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about him and Anthony Edwards. And mind you, also, so Austin, just to give you just a little background about this conversation we had about when the player is better than the other player. My thing is when his players are this close, like as far as tier sets go, I don't have to wait a whole year to see something. I believe that basketball is a day-to-day sport when you have players that are all in the same tier. When these players
Anthony Edwards is not in the same tier as Luka.
Says you. Chill. Says you.
I'm talking about.
That says you. I think Anthony Edwards would disagree. I think Luka Doncic would disagree after last night. After last night, I think Luka Doncic would disagree with you.
Now all of a sudden we get in the playoffs, and now Anthony Edwards is in the same tier with Luka.
Wait.
One thing though, hey, I'll give you credit on this though. If you think about it, I get what you're saying as far as the level. He may not be on the same tier, but let's be real. Dallas did call Minnesota an offer up, and Minnesota said no. So there is a.
They called Milwaukee too.
I mean, yeah, but
they said no too.
But if you think about it, I look at it like this: like you're saying, I agree, but I also understand now you can't really do that with the personnel that Luka has on his team. I mean, LeBron is a legendary player, one of the GOATs. But when you look at the rest of the roster, does it really fit to what they really need around Luka? What they need around him. They need another
Chill
guard.
had the Lakers going to the Western Conference Finals. He must have got a good enough roster.
Because of what we saw in the regular season, and because we never saw anybody just say Tatum, which makes a difference in the playoffs. Like I said, I think one of the times, maybe the first time I was on here, I said that I knew Rick Carlisle was one of the best coaches in the league when he went up against Pop in the first round, and he made us make adjustments from game one. And so when you got a coach out there that was like, okay, we're going to play them 4 or 5, however many times during the season, then we play them in the playoffs, we're going to play them completely different. And that's what they're doing. And that's what's messing them up because Jackson Hayes if Jackson Hayes played the same way he played in the regular season throughout this whole postseason, how much money was he getting at the end of this year?
$100 million.
Okay.
Who would get 100?
Luka made Jackson Hayes look like he's about to be $100 million.
No, he did not. What are you talking about?
All he doing is catching balls and diving to the rim. They underpaid for him, and they underpaid for him.
You're right. A 1 year, 100-year deal for 100 million years. Yeah, that's right. That's it. That's about it. 100 mil for Jackson Hayes.
Playing like 18 minutes.
Yeah, we've never seen that. We've never seen
Who was
teams
giving
overpay for a
18
guy.
minutes a game?
He was not even better than Gafford, chill. And Gafford don't got 100 of them.
We've never seen guys do that, right? No doubt.
What he was looking like in the regular season. Those games.
I'm judging him regular season, though.
No, and
he was looking like he could get a 4-year 32.
The regular season.
That's still a race for him.
Gafford was good in the playoffs though last year.
Y'all get caught up on the number and not the
concept. We might have overestimated 100 million.
Luka raised his value.
I didn't say 100 million.
He raised his price on the market.
But what does he do to earn 100 mil? He's not a rim protector, not an elite defender, not a good offensive player. He doesn't do any of that stuff.
His rim protection metrics are actually quite good.
I don't care. But I'm saying that like some of this is rim deterrence, right? Rim deterrence. So what I'm saying, Austin, can we just keep it 100? Luka's just not been. Luka had a perfect situation last year, Austin. He had a perfect situation. The team was perfect. The defense was perfect. We had to get Mars up here clapping for Luka, talking about the whole point of the defense was to allow for him to let people run by him. I know. I'm just saying. But to be fair, they were funneling last year to Gafford and Lively.
But
we remember me and Ox were up here, and even in the Wolves series, like. But they just letting him walk by Luka, and then Mars to his point was like, well, they got a bunch of rim protectors. We were like, all right, cool. Celtics series, that didn't matter. Like I don't care what happened. It didn't matter. Like their offense fell apart, which is to Mars' point. Their defense still held up. They guarded the Celtics better than anybody else in the NBA playoffs did. I get you. They didn't play nobody in the East. The East was broken. Whatever. They run against the Mavericks, and then literally we got a new ESPN stat called blow-bys for Luka Doncic, and you seen that stat ain't been used, Mars. I haven't seen that stat used once this series. You know why? Because he plays in LA. Because if they use that stat right now, literally, Ox and Edward, every time he come up the court, this Edwards. You. I want some of them. I want some of them. Put him on the grill, Ox. And look, it's not his fault. He can't do nothing about it. What do you want him to do?
A lot of that is still on coaching. Like I'm with Ox that Luka being a bad defender is a problem. So we can't be like, oh, well, we know he's a bad defender. Let's not talk about it. No, if we're talking about Ant versus Luka being a bad defender is a part of the conversation. I get that.
Yes, it is.
But also, why is JJ Redick just freeing up the switch every play? The coach, if you know they're hunting Luka and you're giving them the switch at the first opportunity, now you've got Luka having to guard Anthony Edwards in space with 15 seconds on the clock. What do you think's gonna happen?
So what's the alternative, Mars? What's the alternative?
And figure out, okay,
Cross
let's
switch
let's keep him
or
away
fight
from the
over the
action.
screen.
Do something.
You can't hide him though. You can't. We can't hide him. The only way we can
inevitable. That's what
no, you can't. The only way that we can rectify this is we got to get Luka off the floor.
But how can they not Mars? How can they not switch?
But
look, Mark, if they over rotate on the double, they're literally.
I'm saying if Luka's
but even, I'm saying show and recover.
Mike Conley in the corner, and Mike Conley comes up to set the pick. All Luka has to do, all the Lakers have to do, communicate with whoever's the next up. If it's Rui,
then run double drag. That's all I got. Then run double drag and bring them both up.
Make the Timberwolves run some. That's my point.
They have run. To be fair, they have run double drag in the series. They have run double drag in the series.
You coaching right now, Morris.
No, I know, but Ox, they have run that.
I understand there's counters to what the Timberwolves could do to that coverage. But if you're not making them do that,
Mars, they did.
17 seconds, that's a problem.
Mars, they literally did this. So Austin, I'm saying they ran double drag, or then they would have to do that nonsense with Luka and say, "Oh, Luka, they were like Austin, somebody go up there and get him. I can't get him." And then they would just run double drag. They'll bring Luka out, but then what happens is they would overhelp like yesterday, and they start sitting two at Ant, and all of a sudden, ball dumps to the left in the wing, and now we're boom, 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 and it's like. Nas Reed, wide open in the corner. Nikhil, wide open in the corner. They tried, but the Lakers' defensive personnel sucks. But, Mars, we talked about this during the year. They had too much. Mars, look at me. We went up here and told them they had 2 months, Mars, where people were saying, Austin, oh, they got the #1 defense in the NBA. Look at how they've done. Take me off the solo. Let me talk to my friend. Take me off the solo. Mars. When they were, what was their record? When they had one of LeBron, one of Luka, one of Reeves in the final. Boy, they 13-2 versus above 500 teams. We heard that for months. And then when Jordan rightfully came up here and said, I don't know if I believe in that. When I told you, I don't know if that's sustainable. And when you said, but why every time including John D, by the way, whenever we brought this up, they would say, well, with one of them's in the game. And then you would say, well, when all 3 are in the game, they're not that good. But they're like, well, that's just situational. They got to learn. And then here they go. We get all 3 of them. And I believed it. Even me, the Lakers doubter, I believed it. And now the Wolves are. And then every single time Luka's on the court, literally they're putting him in every action possible. Every single one, Austin.
The one thing is, though, is if you look at the team, the reason why it's such a mismatch is because of the size, too. Even though Rudy doesn't play as much, Julius Randle playing the 5 and playing the 4 with Nas Reed, who stretches the floor. It's difficult for the Lakers because they're one of the only teams that also, when they're small, the Timberwolves are just as big small with them. Mm-hmm. So that's what I see the problem is when I look and I feel that they're much better defenders. Anthony Edwards is a better defender. McDaniels is a better defender. Julius Randle is probably a better defender than LeBron right now in the series. I don't know. Y'all take. But who else is on the floor? A small group. Who else is on the floor for the Minnesota?
He's been better than what he was in the past.
Nintendo's a better defender.
He's been better than
Alexander Walker.
Four guys for sure that you can say are better defenders than the Lakers guys. So you've got a small ball lineup. The small ball lineup, either you have to be playing so much better on offense and taking advantage of LeBron and Luka's matchup, because you're not going to get it on the other end. You're not going to get it unless you're able to fight over screens and double team and then get back to your man or rotate. There's no way by like you said, switching on to Anthony Edwards at 15 on the clock is not going to work. It's not going to work. You got the Warriors never did that with Steph. The Sixers never did that with Allen Iverson. No teams, when they have a guy like that who is somewhat of a defensive liability, plays defense like that. All right, we're just going to put him on him and see how it works out, and we're going to help behind. You got to figure out something else now.
We 100% know that the idea is to get Luka in the action and keep him in the action. It's not news. This isn't a revelation. We're gonna run a bunch of double screens and we're gonna run a bunch of double drag. We're gonna get Luka in the action however we could get him in the action, and it's not that hard. You can set a screen on Luka, or you can set a screen where Luka's gonna die on that screen, and now you're gonna have to switch. You can get Luka running around a curl cut. He's gonna die on that screen. It's not difficult to get Luka into action. And it's not difficult to keep him in the action, especially if you want him on Anthony Edwards, especially if you want him, I don't know, closing out on Jaden McDaniels. You want Luka in action. Moss, this is not news. The problem that I have with this, because I know how inefficient Luka is as a defender. I do know that, but I'm 100% confident that I just saw him last season go up against Anthony Edwards, and he ate his lunch, Ox.
Okay, but he had his best shooting.
I don't care about what happened last year.
But we're gonna stay right where we are right now, right? We're gonna stay right where we are right now, and moving forward, there for me specifically, there are no more exceptions. I don't care how good you are on offense.
No, chill. You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
That's fine. If that's what you want to do, chill, that's fine. I'm just talking about last year.
I want to make it abundantly clear that if Chill's doing that, that's his own volition. That's not what Ox said. I just want to make that clear. So he's not doing that because of Ox. He's doing that because he chose to do it.
First and foremost,
so when he starts doing
all right, y'all, we'll get back to it. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. What I do want to say is we are going to more than likely see Ant move on to the next round. And it's looking like he going to face the baby's face assassin called Steph Curry. With that being said, the only way you can get seats to this game, well, not the only way, but the best way is through the Gametime app. So download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Now, obviously, we get a showdown between a young rising superstar like Anthony Edwards and somebody that's been around winning championships, MVP, scoring titles, and getting buckets for a very long time, Steph Curry. It's going to be hard to get seats to those games unless you got the Gametime app, which makes getting tickets faster and easier than ever before. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down as you get closer to tip-off. They have killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seats, and the lowest price guaranteed. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. With the Gametime app, you can get last-minute deals, you get zone deals, and you get the lowest price guaranteed. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We'll see you guys there. All right, fellas. Next up, well, I got a couple super chats from Arch. Arch said, Ant is so overrated.
I can understand that in that conversation. I don't personally. I think it's been incredible this playoff, but I do think
Ox is the only one saying he's better than him.
Well, I want to ask.
He's been the best player in the series.
Because I ran a poll and I said Luka or Ant. 52% of the people said Luka. But I want to ask you guys, Chill, obviously, I think you're with Luka.
Yes.
Mars? And Luka.
Who's better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Luka's better.
Swiper?
Luka. Overall, Luka.
Austin? Luka? All right. Luka reigns supreme right now.
It was just Ox, but with what Ox was saying, I think it made sense. I just didn't see the point in arguing.
Now, I still stand on what I said, that I still think that Ant within 5 years, he's going to be the best guard in the league. And I still stand on that. I'm not going to argue.
The way he keep improving, it'll probably be next week.
I think he's going to be the best guard in the league. I'm not coming off that. No, I won't.
Well, to be fair, if Luka just keeps not doing, if he just stays here and he never gets in shape, never starts lifting weights for real, never starts running the beat test. If you're a soccer fan, you know what that is. Never does any of that stuff in the summer. Then yeah, I mean, there's definitely a pathway for sure. And also, and shooting 9.3 threes a game, by the way, shooting and making 43% of them in the series.
Well, in the series, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's
he's just one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. And he said in this offseason, he's gonna be focusing on the mid-range. He become one of the best mid-range shooters in the league next year, along with his three, along with the improved playmaking.
He's gonna be an SGA combos. I mean, it's a gap. It's gonna take there's a 3-year gap, so like it's gonna take some time. But he would get to that point.
Yeah,
but it's also the position gap too, though. It's a different style. Like Shea and Luka, LeBron, like those type guys. Like the way he's gonna be able to dominate games is just gonna be in a different way. Like he's gonna be more willing to get hockey assists and not as many. He's not gonna be the one throwing behind the back passes under the basket to the opposite 45 wing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Luka can do. He can still make great passes. he can still make the key passes that lead to assists or hockey assists. But I don't. It's just certain people that just don't have that vision. I don't think Anthony Edwards is ever going to have that vision. But
when I thought he got hurt yesterday,
he has. I think he, with the personnel he has right now and what they could even add more, he's going to shine. He's going to shine.
Nice.
And got something that all the other guys don't have either.
What's that?
And that's elite athleticism.
Yes.
So albeit, you guys can pass a little bit better than me. Shay,
a little bit.
You might be a little more smoother, but and one thing that we haven't mentioned is his strength. At 23 years old, Anthony Edwards is literally one of the strongest people in the league. Did y'all see how he stood Bron up yesterday? A couple different times. So with his strength and athleticism, that's gonna allow him to be.
Ron, in terms of footwork for a guard,
it looks elite,
dude.
Yeah,
bro, those step throughs are
that step through last night.
Dirty.
That step through last night was nasty.
Yeah. I mean, he's only 23, so we're gonna see y'all. But my man Art sent through a couple more super chats, and then we're gonna move on to the next series.
That's not only difference though, Ron.
Observation hockey. I see the future. You know what this means?
The anime thing.
Ron, he has elite athleticism. Elite athleticism, that's a fact. But he got heart. I know that's not a real thing in basketball. I understand that, but he got big gorilla nuts, and everybody else out there with hamster nuts.
Yes, it is. It's
and Edwards, he a big dog.
Ox, no one was saying that last year when Luka hit that 3 over Gobert.
No, what do you
mean?
Because we know this stuff.
Everyone was saying that Luka had the biggest nuts in the series.
No, he did. But that, I mean, but that's cool. I'm talking about that was last year. With that being said, Jaden McDaniels ran from that and sent Rudy out there to the slaughter. All I'm saying is, this playoffs. See, I'm not like chilling in that sense. If we're talking about today, I don't care about what happened last year. Luka had it last year. That was him. Ant came back seeking vengeance this year. That's what I'm talking about. He came back seeking vengeance. He got heart. Like what Swiper was about to say a second ago. When I saw Bron die for the ball and land on his foot, I was like, oh no, shit, like it's over. I thought he was really hurt. And bounced up like, come on, we got work to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that. All I'm saying is, you see that and Ant really want it. Like he's here for a reason, bro. He's here for a reason.
Steve for sure got heart, but the reason why I didn't bring that up because I was going to. The reason why I didn't bring that up and I just kept
because you ain't got no heart. That's why. No, you afraid to go to war with Ant, Ron.
I'm afraid to go to war with Ant.
You afraid they gonna call you a Luka hater. I'm not afraid to say what everybody else don't want to hear.
Yeah, and that's cool and everything. But just because you got the heart to do that doesn't mean that Ox don't got, or doesn't mean Swiper, Chill, or Mars don't got
heart to do with heart. What conversation we having?
That doesn't take away from anything. The thing about it is, I'm not gonna big up Ant's heart because I know Luka got nuts. I know Jalen Brunson got nuts. I can go through a whole bunch of other players in the league that got it too. SGA for sure got it. He for sure got heart and all of that. So like, I can't sit here and definitively say Ant's better than these guys because he has more heart or more nuts than him. Because they all got that. So that's the only reason why
can we Euro the Skims commercial and go back to the games? That'd be fun. Shout out.
Absolutely, Swiper. I got one more $100 super chat from Arch though. And shout out to the whole Arch family, by the way. Arch said, chill cooking. Ant over Steph, Luka, or Jokic is mental. Ant becoming the new Jimmy Butler. He is overrated.
Yeah, I don't think Ant's better than those three, but I think with what Ox was saying, I think it's valid. But whatever.
But how do you feel, Ron? Because you're the one that picked the Lakers, like because go to the finals. So how are you feeling right now?
Oh yeah.
The way I'm feeling is Anthony Edwards is a dog. That's the way I'm feeling. Like what he's playing the best in this series.
That's it. Okay.
It's what else do you want me to say?
Well, I'm saying you picked him going out in the first round relative to the finals is a big difference. So like that's obviously changing your entire board of who's coming out the West.
Yeah.
You got the Timberwolves now.
You got the Wolves?
Like I said, no, I don't got the Wolves.
Okay, see, I got you.
Like I said, Anthony Edwards is a dog, and he's the best player in this series.
Yeah.
And it's nothing else to really say. I could blame it on Luka, LeBron not playing.
Who's been your
what's
most
up?
disappointing Laker?
It doesn't fall on any of the role players, so it would either have to be Luka or LeBron. And with that being said,
You're not that Jackson Hayes can't give you 4 minutes.
no, because I'm not Jackson Hayes.
$100 million man.
No.
See, I should have never said that shit. You should have never.
$100 million man can't stay on the court
Relax,
for 6
Mark.
minutes,
You
and that's
know
not
we got with that.
disappointing.
See, you should have never said that shit. Oh my
You
god.
said the 100 mil. I said
Oh
that
my
when he played.
god. You should have
Come
never
on,
went
that's
there.
not disappointing.
Oh my god.
I think the
You
answer's
put the
probably
number
Austin
on it,
Reeves,
Jill.
but that's
You
besides
put
the
the
point.
number on it.
Good.
But like,
You put the number on it.
Man,
The number
you gotta
was
be real
crazy.
careful. I should have never said that shit.
I actually would agree with that, Mars. Austin Reeves for sure.
yeah, there you go.
Austin Reeves. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up because Austin Reeves was my biggest needle mover. Y'all remember how I kept saying that Austin Reeves was going to outplay all these other guys? Austin Reeves still hasn't showed up to the fight.
Yeah, at all. And that's what everyone's thinking too. He was gonna get the team's third defender, so he was gonna be able to get out some work, but he hasn't done anything really.
But he hasn't gotten the team's third defender. He's gotten Anthony Edwards. That's who he's gotten. Mm-hmm.
That might be that third best defender.
Maybe.
The team really good.
Maybe.
He be the Lakers' best point of attack defender who can
Yes,
play.
he would be.
Who?
Anthony
Edwards. Mm-hmm.
Who's the best Lakers' best point of attack defender?
Vanderbilt, but he
Vanderbilt.
can't play. Or Gabe Vincent.
Yo, I want to move
it would
off
be
this
Ant.
series, though. I want to move off this series, and I do want to pull up the playoff bracket right quick before we dive into the next series. And this is what we are looking at right now, y'all. All right, here we go. This is what we're looking at. So we have the Thunder. Obviously, they have swept the Grizzlies off of planet Earth. We got a 2-2 series between the Nuggets and the Clippers. We'll get to that here in a second. Obviously, we talked about the Lakers and the Wolves. The Wolves are up 3-1, and then we got the Rockets and the Warriors. The Warriors up 2-1, and they play tonight. This is the series we're going to talk about next. But let's jump out east. We got the Cavs up 3-0 against the Miami Heat. They are looking to put them to bed as well. We got the Bucks and the Pacers, and the Pacers are up 3-1 against the Bucks. Damian Lillard has went down. We still have to talk about his Achilles injury. We got the Knicks up 3-1, and we have to talk about a controversial play that happened on a potential game-winning three. So we'll talk about that, and then we also have the Celtics up 3-1 against the Orlando Magic.
Nothing to talk about. We actually can Euro that series altogether and just allocate that time somewhere else.
And the Cavs Heat series. We ain't going to talk about either one of them.
All right, fellas. Well, we got the Rockets and the Warriors. Austin, you said you wanted to come up here and talk about this series. So what specific do you want to bring to the table?
This and I'm out. I came for this and I'm going to sleep. I only came for this.
That's the only reason why he here. As soon as I heard you, Ron. As soon as I heard
He ain't going to pull up tomorrow when the series 2-2. He ain't going to pull up tomorrow when the series
As soon
2-2.
as
I see how it
As soon
is.
as I saw that he was coming, I was like, this dude is coming up here to talk.
You wanted to
specifically
pull up when the
about-
Warriors are winning the series, but tomorrow when it's going to be tied, you ain't going to
He
see
ain't
us.
come up here to talk
No,
about
it's
that.
not
No.
about the Warriors winning the series. I wanted to get back on here and talk about that. What was the top 5 conversation that we had? The top 5 point guard, or was it top 3 still?
Top three. I think it was top
three.
Top three.
And I think y'all had him out of the top 5. And how crazy does that sound now?
He may
never
be a
had-
top 5 point guard. He may be. Yeah, he might be.
Who you right now? Not on age. Who are you taking over him right now? Not age. No
Shea.
age has to do with it
Shay's better.
in the playoffs. But
Shea hasn't been better
Shea-
than him in this postseason.
Has Shea
but
ever
Shea's a
been
better
than him in the
Luka's
playoffs?
still better than him too.
Yeah, Shea, Luka, I'm fine with
Luka's
those
still
two.
better than him too. Yes,
Lord.
100%. Luka's still better than him.
I mean, I could convince myself that Steph's better than Luka. But I've been called a Luka hater too much for me to have that conversation right now.
The
But I can
attention-
convince myself.
the
I can convince
attention
myself.
drawn is
But Shay's got it. Shay's got it.
I don't even know if Shea could carry this team. Honest to God,
The
What team?
Warriors,
Which team?
no. The Warriors, nah.
this Warriors
The-
team.
The Warriors are entirely reliant on.
Let's
what
not
Steph
act
does,
like
though.
Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, Jalen, and all these young kids off the.
I'm
bench.
glad we're waking up to this. Keep going, Austin.
Demons. Those kids are demons. They got a bunch of young athletes ready to hunt. But let's not act. The best player that the Warriors were supposed to have on their roster right now, as of today, or their second best player was supposed to be Jonathan Kuminga, and he's not even playing.
I'm
He
not
was their
playing
top what pick? Okay, and then now who are they
10.
playing? Draymond Green. Who else?
Moody. Gary
Krzyzewski.
Payton.
Like, could you think this team would even have a fighting chance if you were saying Jimmy Butler was going to play last game? They shouldn't even have a fighting chance.
I told Ox, I had them going back to what they were when
Jimmy got hurt.
Yeah, that's what when Jimmy Butler, I had them going back to what they were, which is, but then I thought about the fact that they own Houston. I don't know what it is about Houston. They own Houston. I'm sorry, Mars, but they own you.
We won a game. We won game 2. We won a game in the series. They don't own nothing. We're going to win tonight, too. It's going to be 2-2.
That's the first time.
It's actually even worse, though, Chill, because they don't even have Andrew Wiggins anymore either. So it's like they're not going back to what they were. They're going back to less than what they were without
that.
Jimmy.
And that's my
but
point.
Steph Curry, the most dangerous man in the world.
He's quite dangerous. He is quite dangerous.
Yeah, Austin, you are making a valid point because I'm just looking at the numbers and I'm looking at I'm remembering what's been going on throughout this playoffs, and now I'm just like Steph Curry really has been carrying. I'm looking at it. Steph Curry's giving you 29, 7 and 6, and he's doing that on 50, 40, 90.
I wonder
guarded by 2 people the whole time. The whole time guarded by 2 people.
Not just 2 regular defenders. And this is the 4th best defense in the NBA.
I wonder what he averages against Houston over the last 5 years. I wonder what he's doing against them.
He is clearly outplaying Luka and SGA in his first round.
Yeah, for sure. He's been the best point guard in the
playoffs. And this is the
Jalen Brunson.
He's been the best point guard in the playoffs.
That's the one thing with Steph too. He has a shooting advantage over everybody, but he don't have a size advantage. Having a size advantage in basketball is such a key thing.
Yep.
To not have a size advantage, to sometimes be guarded by the same size, to sometimes being guarded by a guy 5 inches taller than you, just as quick, way more athletic. Could you imagine like all the things he's got to face on a game-to-game basis, but he's still getting his guys wide open layups and dunks just by moving off the ball, playing the way that Steph Curry plays, and the way that Steph Curry plays causes havoc, and that's why I said the way he played in the summertime was the reason why they won the gold medal. Not necessarily just because LeBron was a great player. But the offense was run through Steph Curry, period. And this is the you're seeing it right now. And this is what all the teams are trying to do, but it don't look the same. Every team is trying to do somewhat of the same thing, but it doesn't look the same because it's not the same person in the offense, in the system. That system can only be run by one man.
And when you just brought up though that moving without the ball, like the people don't understand how serious it is to move without the ball, but move with a purpose.
Gary Payton, a wide open dunk with the 2 minutes left in the game. Like how many times are you getting wide open dunks at the end of the games? Like Lakers couldn't get a wide open dunk in the second half to save their life yesterday, just off of movement, just off running off a screen and 2 people running to him, and all right, I got a back slip for a dunk.
And the crazy, I think the Rockets have defended him well. Like that's the crazy thing. I think the Rockets have defended him well.
Phenomenally.
Well, he's picking the defense apart. It's been a low scoring series, so like that makes like everything that Steph does like infinitely more valuable because like this offense doesn't operate without Steph Curry. Like with Jimmy or without Jimmy, but without Jimmy, it's even more glaring. This offense it grinds to a halt when Steph's not out there because he's all of their advantage creation. He's the best shooter that we've obviously ever seen. He's been able to get into the paint. He's obviously people are overplaying the shot, so he's getting downhill. His touch has been amazing in this series. He's getting to the mid range, like he's doing everything. I don't know what his like actual efficiency is. I haven't checked.
69.
True shooting. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
That's insane.
And this is against the defense.
43 shooting a game.
He's shooting like I know he's shooting like 10 threes a game. I don't know like how.
Yeah, he's I know he's shooting 45%. He is shooting 10 threes a game, and he's making 4.7 of them.
45.
And this is in a series where teams are struggling to score above 100, and he's doing this. Like,
well,
so
that's what I was about to say, Mark, because you brought up glaring. It's interesting that when the playoffs come, things that are glaring get even more glaring. So I'm amazed at how much the Rockets rely on second chance opportunities. I'm blown away by that. Even though you told me this already.
Even though
you already told me. Yes.
You're living in denial for a while.
Yeah. You already told me. No, I knew it. I knew it. Let me tell you what it's like, Swiper. It's like that family member that you know they sick, but until you see them like up close, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know you were that sick. I really didn't. Even though you told me, and I might have seen them in passing, but I'm watching this Houston team, and it's amazing how much they rely on second chance opportunities. It's almost like they just throw the ball at the rim to rebound. and to go back and get second chance shots.
It's a good plan.
This is, right. It is a good plan.
Chill, their second best player's been Steven Adams.
It's incredible. Like where Sengun, he's 8 feet away from
Jalen Green. Okay.
I won't even get on Jalen. I'm gonna get on Jalen Green in a second. But Sengun, he's 8-10 feet away from the basket, and he's bringing the ball out. He's 15 feet away from the basket, and he's wide open, and he won't shoot. And when he does shoot, he's crashing the glass immediately afterwards. I'm like, do you guys have any confidence in anything that you guys are doing offensively? Anything. In terms of Amen Thompson, the Warriors are begging him to shoot at the long ball line. Like, they aren't even conceding closeouts to him. They're begging him to shoot at the long ball line.
Right I mean,
knock yourself out. And even when he gets in there,
40% from the free throw line.
and even when he gets into the paint, because he can get to the paint, he can get to the mid range, he can get to the mid post. They're conceding that. We don't think that you can score there neither. And all Houston is doing with their second chance opportunities is basically, as a collection, crashing the glass. Now, I'm having a difficult time with my leading scorer having 2 of the 3 games being single digit games. I watched Jalen Green, and it's hard to defend that, man. It's so difficult to defend that. It just is. It's so difficult to defend that because I watch how he processes the defense. He had a shot. He had a play in the it was in the first half, and I'm still stuck on it. It was in the first half. It was in the second quarter. It was like maybe 4 or 5 minutes in, and he gets a closeout from Podziemski. It's a 2-dribble pull up with the weak hand, and he's open. Instead, what does he do? He fires it to the long ball line to Amen Thompson. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I say know your personnel. What do I prefer more? I prefer Jalen Green, even if he's going to miss. I prefer him 16 feet away from the basket on a 2-dribble pull-up to shoot that, even if he isn't an efficient.
It's better than an Amen Thompson 3.
I trust that way more than I trust that. That's telling me that this dude, number one, he's still having a difficult time processing defenses. Or number 2, he just ain't with the drama. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he was.
That's what I'm thinking.
Draymond Green. So either he's lying about being with the antics, or he's just pretending. I don't know. But game 1, I put on Jalen Green. When was the game? Saturday. I don't really blame Jalen Green for game 3. He had 9 points. Where
my starting two guard cannot. My starting two guard, who is my leading scorer, cannot give me that kind of production.
He's not Steph Curry. If they're going to blitz him off every ball screen, he's not going to score. Like, he's not. It's on everyone else at that point. Like, he's created the advantage.
And everyone else shot bad too.
Like, for me, game 1, I put him on the all disgrace team. He was terrible in game 1. Game 2, amazing. He won us the game. So all the flowers in the world. We've won a game in this series because of Jalen Green. Last night, not whenever the game was, Saturday, the Warriors made a conscious decision. Jalen Green isn't beating us. Every pick and roll, we're going to put 2 on the ball. Jalen Green's going to have to get off the ball. He did that.
He did.
The issue is no one can execute. And because we're using Amen Thompson as a screener, because he can't score and he can't do all of these other things, we're using Amen Thompson as a screener and then having him play in the pocket. Ain't no one worried about him. Like, for me, game 3 is more on Amen Thompson than it is on Jalen Green. And I know Jalen Green only had 9 points. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. He made the right reads. He's not the type of guy. He's not good enough to get blitzed in pick and roll and then still have an effective score in that. All you can ask from him is if he's getting blitzed, he's drawing 2, that he makes the right reads and then the Rockets execute the 4 and 3 on the backside. That's all you can ask from him. He's not Steph Curry where he's going to get blitzed, get off the ball and then come back to it and get down. That's not his game. He's not good enough to do that right now. Maybe he'll develop that in the future. I don't know. Right now, I can't ask that of him. He's not good enough to do that. I've accepted that. So all I can ask is, can you execute and let your teammates do the right things? Jabari Smith has to play more. Amen Thompson, this is not your series, my friend.
Yeah.
You're too flawed offensively in the half court. It was a concern that I think a lot of people had, including myself, going into the playoffs. How is he going to look in the half court? The Warriors are just a very bad defense for him to go against as well. It's a terrible matchup. Jabari has to be out there more. He's knocking down threes at an elite clip. His defensive intensity has been great. His size on the rebounds, all of those things, immense. He has to play more. Yeah. For me, Fred VanVleet has been really good defensively. The offense sucks. I don't know, like he's just been terrible
But
offensively.
Mars, are you
Like you gotta go with that personally. A man has to play less. That's where I'm at. A man has to
Well,
play
that's what I'm about
less?
to, yeah,
Yes,
that's what
a
I'm
man
about to
has to
ask you,
play
Mars, because when we're talking about a guy who's as good as he is defensively, who can mix it up and get you guys transition buckets, because as good as he is in transition, I mean, I don't know if I want to
Other
take that
people
off
can
the
do
floor.
that too. Other people can do
Not
that too.
not to the level of a Mint
Tari
Thompson.
Eason
No,
can
not to
create
the level of a
transition
Mint
opportunities.
Thompson,
Fred
Mars.
can create transition. Yeah,
But he's-
obviously not to the what Amen Thompson brings defensively is amazing. I had him as my defensive player of the year.
Sure.
His defensive value in this series has not offset his offensive negativity. So I'm playing him less. This is a series by series basis. I'm not saying Amen Thompson is a terrible player. He's never going to play again. In this series, he has not done enough defensively to warrant being out there as much as he has been with everything he's hurting the team with offensively. Jabari Smith has been good on defense and amazing on offense for what the Rockets need. Play him more. Tari Eason has been really good knocking down the corner three in that game 2 that we won. And defensively, he's been really good for the most part. A couple breakdowns, but you live with that. Steven Adams has been amazing in the series. Play him more. Dylan Brooks has been one of our more stable knockdown shooters, mid-range three, all of that stuff. Play him more. I know he fouled out in game 3. The only guys who like Şengün has to play, Jalen Green has to play. He's our only advantage creator on the perimeter. Whether we like it or not, and we understand all the flaws, Jalen Green is the only person who can create an advantage on the perimeter. He has to play. Şengün has to play for obvious reasons. Dylan Brooks has to play. Fred VanVleet is the only guy who can get the team calm down in the half court and get them to execute. So you know he's going to have to be out there regardless of how he's shooting. Jabari Smith and Amen Thompson are the ones who are interchangeable. And Amen Thompson's minutes have to go down. Playing 31 minutes a game or whatever he's playing in the series with how bad
he
been
played
offensively.
36 last game.
Like it's not justifiable to me. I understand the defense. It's not justifiable. He's been that bad offensively. I'm going to use the word.
Also,
unplayable
last game,
offensively. That's what he's been.
Last game, he shot 5 for 16 from the field and finished with 11 points. So we could dive on Jalen Green all we want to. Yeah. So Jalen Green shot 4 for 11 and he finished with 9 points. Amen Thompson shot 5 for 16 and finished with 11 points.
On everything I love, I didn't know.
We can dive on Jalen Green and make this a Jalen Green thing all we want. Amen just has to be better.
They all have to be better. Both of them.
No, they do. But if Amen shoots at a better clip last game, or if those shots go to somebody else, the Rockets probably win that game.
But don't you think that's a part of the issue, though, is that we said coming into the series, having to depend on 2 inefficient volume scorers in Şengün and Jalen Green, and then having the role players opposite them, the best options you're going to have as scorers are Tari Eason and Dylan Brooks versus a Steph Curry-led offense, a Jimmy Butler and Draymond-led defense, and then on top of that, they have zero experience in these settings whatsoever. They don't even know how to guard the Warriors, like, collectively, because they've never been in that battle before. But I think some of this is like, but even the shot conversion stuff, like we said this, like they're dead in the water without Steven Adams on the floor. Like that's a problem. Like in a modern offense,
he's the best offensive rebounder in the league, and we're a team that needs to rebound.
No, I know, but Mars still, like that's what I'm saying. Like that for me should have been like enough for the non-Mars, non-Rockets fans to say it's probably not going to happen this year, which is perfectly fine. But I think
they're playing the Warriors close with all of these flaws.
No, sure. That's
they're
cool.
playing them very close.
That's because they're really good, Mars. That's because the Pirates are really good.
With all of your concerns are valid, but they still have a
we're comparing them to the Warriors. Like I'm saying, they are a good team.
Yeah,
but I think
they're playing the Warriors close.
I know. I'm saying, but the Warriors are playing better, and that's why they're
probably on the mark.
Go ahead.
The Rockets, the 2 games they've lost, have shot about 50% from the free throw line.
Yeah,
that's not on the Warriors. If the Rockets make some free throws, they could be up 2-1. That's it. Free throws. Like, I'm not saying if they make some extra threes, they do execute better in the half court. If they make free throws, they shot 14 of 24 in game 3. And in game 1, these are the 2 games they lost. And in game 1, they shot, what did they shoot from the line? 11 of 20. That's 2 games, about 55% from the free throw line.
Well, they're all the culprit. Who's the culprit? Some of this too. They're shooting that one guy in particular.
Amen Thompson, Alperen Şengün, Steven Adams. Steven Adams, you accept. They're fouling him intentionally. He's not a good free throw shooter. You can accept that. Alperen Şengün and Amen Thompson, if they make some free throws, these games might be different. I'm not saying they are different, but I'm saying that's how small the margins are.
Right, and I want to say I agree with you, but they're the worst. They're currently the 4th worst 3-point shooting team in the playoffs. They're the worst 2-point shooting team in the playoffs.
All of this is to be expected.
Yeah. Right. they're the worst 2-point shooting team in the playoffs. And then from the free throw line, to your point, they're also the worst free throw shooting team in the playoffs. Like the shooting
You can't
across
win
the
like
board
that.
for them.
You
Yeah, that's
can't.
what I'm saying. Like but I think those margins add up in a playoff series, which is why I'm saying that I picked the Warriors to win in the first
Can't
place.
win
But
like
like,
that.
yeah, it's
No,
just-
picking the Warriors not only makes sense, it's probably the right pick. I think they
Right.
were the favorites for obvious reason, despite the Rockets being the 2 seed. But if I'm going to speak from the Rockets perspective. If I'm the Rockets, I'm definitely looking, especially at game 3 without Jimmy Butler. If Jimmy doesn't play again tonight, A, the Rockets have to win, and B, they have the pieces in place to where they can, even with all of these flaws. Going into the series, I acknowledged every single one of these flaws. I knew this was going to happen. They weren't going to be able to score consistently in the half court. It was going to be reliant on defense and offensive rebounding, and you get a good game offensively from at least one of your guys every game to win. So Şengün, game 1, he was really good. Jalen Green, game 2, he was really good. Game 3, no one was really good. No. And they ended up losing in what was a close game up until like the last 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets having such, and you spoke about this earlier, the Rockets' floor is so high because they they play defense at an elite level. They're very versatile in defense, and they win the possession battle comfortably, damn near every game. So their floor is like, they're practically impossible to blow out, which means if they can keep games close, it comes down to, can they execute or can they get someone to play well at the right moment? If they get a Fred VanVleet avalanche in the fourth quarter, they win game 3. If they get a Jalen Green avalanche in the fourth quarter, they win game 3. Like, if they can keep, and I'm not saying this is what they need to rely on to win. What I'm saying is the Warriors' margin is a lot smaller than the Rockets' margin. The Rockets are going to be in every single one of these games because of everything they do well. Game 2 was a blowout, A, Jimmy Butler's injury, but B, because the Warriors just have a smaller margin for error than the Rockets do. The Rockets just have to be able to overcome their margins, and that might be free throw shooting. That might be turning the ball over less. That might be just execution in the half court, just tweaking things minorly, not going from the worst half court offense to the best. Going from the worst half court offense to the third worst half court offense might be the difference between a win and a loss in this series for the Rockets.
And
converting on the floor that high, that's useful.
And converting on the looks that you get, right? So Amin Thompson, like you just said, Mars, you didn't know that he shot 5 for 16. Mars, I don't know if you know this, but he only took 1 shot outside of 17 feet. He had 1 shot outside of 17 feet. He was just missing
floaters and layups, and he was just
right. Everything was in the paint. Like, he's getting putbacks, he's getting 10 feet away from the basket. He can't score in that area, which I've seen him do that. I saw him against the Boston Celtics be able to score in that area. I saw him against other teams being able to score in that area. He just couldn't score in that area. I'm trying to make sense, and you guys get on me about this all the time. When I see somebody do something, that is now the expectation for me. Now, that doesn't mean that when I see somebody get 50, I don't expect you to get 50 every game. No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that when I see somebody do something, there's no reason for me to think that this can't be consistent. For example, when I see Jalen Green has played. He's played with double teams. He's played with blitzes. He hasn't been fantastic, but he knows how to play in blitzes. This isn't something that's new. He knows how to split traps. You get taught how to split traps in high school. That's not anything new. So he knows how to split double teams. He knows how to get off the basketball, like to your point, when you do get blitzed and dive to the basket. None of that is going on with him. It's almost like when he gets blitzed, he gets off the ball and he's standing around and he's just watching. And when you get taken out of plays as your best scorer, then that doesn't give us a chance to even be in the game. And this is one of the main reasons why because of these inconsistencies, I don't think the Houston Rockets are going to win another game in the series. I don't, Moss.
I think they can win tonight. But
I'm gonna read this super chat from Arch, and then Austin. I want to hear how you feel about Steph and your predictions, just what they're gonna do this year. But my man Arch said, "Was Steph impressive?" ? I mean, it's the Rockets. What would you suspect?
I mean, don't give me. Don't.
I'm spending a lot of money to yap today.
It's nothing. I'm telling you, bro. We Austin. You can help us narrow this down.
Maybe it's because he's down 3-0 right now.
Yeah, it's Bam. It's either Bam or it's a 76er. We've narrowed this down, and it might be Tobias Harris at this point. Like I'm kind of depending on, because you just got to track how his brain or her. Maybe she works for the 76er organization. How his or her brain works. And I'm telling you, man, I suspected Bam for months. But I'm kind of leaning 76ers. And now he's saying, what's he doing that's impressive? It's the Rockets. Okay, who has played the Rockets and also gone off? It's probably Tobias Harris, Mars. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Speaking of Steph, Austin, I know you. First off, who's your top 5 point guards right now? Currently.
Like today?
Yeah.
No age. Steph, Shea.
In order. Steph 1, Shea 2.
Yeah. Steph, Shea, Brunson-ish, Cade. I mean, Dame's hurt. Luka's considered a point guard. Is Luka a point guard?
Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry, my bad. Okay, Steph, Shea, Luka. I
Cade.
said Brunson, Cade.
You said Brunson and Cade. Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that order.
All right. So now I just gotta know, because you wanted to talk about Steph, you wanted to talk about the Warriors. So what are your expectations of this Warrior team? Obviously, Jimmy's on his way back.
My expectation was for them to not necessarily win the series, but the way they're winning the series is kind of surprising. But I said I thought the Rockets had a really good chance to win the series because I thought that the activity and the way Amin Thompson, the way those guys played around Jalen Green and Sengun, I thought they would be able to produce somewhat the same stuff in the playoffs. But obviously, the playoffs is just getting to a little bit too big of a moment for them, and you can see that the them being young and inexperienced is kind of just it's kind of shown. But at the same time, like, it happens every playoffs. There's a young team that kind of doesn't live up to what they are expected to do because of that just inexperience. But when I look at Steph, I also think you guys are asking so many questions. Why are they missing free throws? Why is this? Why is that? And I look at it too, not just Steph, but I look at it. Not too many guys have to have that focus on the court for 48 minutes guarding one man. And everyone is trying to literally guard one man at all times. And it's a hard thing to do, to be switching, being alert all the time without having to have a break. A lot of times Jalen Green and those guys get breaks during the season. They get breaks on defense. Just let Brooks guard him. We're good. He'll fight over everything, get through everything. Yeah, but it's not the same with Steph. Everyone's got to be alert. Everyone's got to be ready because you're switching, you're grabbing, you're holding, you're trying to make sure you're not giving up layups, you're trying to make sure you're not giving up any threes. So it's taxing on you mentally, and it's taxing on you physically.
I think
that's what's happening now. I think that they're going to be so focused on Steph. I don't think whoever picks Steph's under is probably going to be great, but they're going to be you're going to have a lot of dunks, a lot of layups from Gary Payton the second. You're going to see a lot of more playmaking from Draymond Green. You're just going to see that because Steph's going to be doing the same thing he's been doing throughout his career, and when he's really became the 30 that he has, and been the off-ball mover and just drawing so much attention. It takes a lot out of you, and I see that. I've seen that.
Amin Thompson was face guarding him. Amin Thompson was face guarding him.
But they're face guarding him, holding him, grabbing him, hoping he doesn't catch the ball. And you don't see that a lot. And you see two people running and grabbing him to make sure he doesn't touch it while someone else is slipping to the basket for a wide open dunk. You just don't see that in the NBA that much.
They're fighting for their lives.
That attention to that person. Like I said, the first time I got on here and talked about that top three conversation, the attention I see on the court with Steph is the same attention I saw with Kobe in like 2008 when he was going for like 35 a game. Like as soon as he dribbles the ball, the attention he gets is crazy. It's different style, but it's still the double team and the running and jumping and the trying to get the ball out of his hands is the same way.
But you got to understand how lethal he is as a basketball player. Because the attention that they're getting, it's like most people.
It's crazy.
Steph knows like the limited opportunities he has to take advantage of, and the window is so close, and he's hitting these shots. Like he's making you pay for quick mental lapses. Like just a quick mental lapse, he's gonna make you pay for that. Whereas most people don't even have the ability to make you pay for that, or the ability to recognize. Oh, boom, he's slipping. Got you. You know what I'm saying? Steph on top of that, like he's locked in.
And that's why I think it separates him from every other guard in the league. Like I think Shea is so good. And I mean, obviously the age difference, I would take Shea right now if I'm starting a franchise. But if I had to go 1 year with one guard and I have to try to win with a bunch of role players, I gotta go with Steph because of how much chaos he causes on the offensive end. It's hard to guard a player like Shaq on the block. I can only imagine guarding Steph out at half court. Him taking one dribble and me thinking he might fire this. That's got to be a nightmare to guard someone all the way damn near half court thinking he may just fire this off just to test me. Like you're playing on your toes the whole game. You're playing on your toes the entire game. So it makes everyone else around them testy, thinking, worried. You don't want to be that guy getting the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, three knocked on your head. So it's a different dynamic that not a lot of teams have to deal with. And it's just like when he's in the playoffs and the coaches are going crazy in the film room, going crazy over scout team. They're looking at all this stuff like, we're not trying to allow this. We're not trying to allow this. All right. Two people try to make a mistake and take it away. Then the one person that's slipping for a wide open 99.9% dunk. So it's what you're left with. And that's what I just see with the Rockets. I mean, they're a good team with a great coach. But like I said, it's just Steph being the way he is and the way he plays basketball, and even the team he has a lesser team. Let's be real. Like if he had Minnesota's supporting cast like Ant, I think not necessarily would it would look a little different with Randall, but the things that he would cause, the threes that he would be getting guys, the dunks he would be getting guys, or if Steph was instead of Kyrie, if Steph was on Dallas, my God, with the shooters and the athleticism, Anthony Davis catching lobs, Gafford and Live, that type of a team it'd be ridiculous. But I'm looking at him at 37 years old, and I'm just like, man, this guy is not slowing down. He's gotten like somewhat better, and he's getting older, and it's scary.
So how far do you got him going? I need a prediction.
I think they can beat the Wolves. I think it's going to be. I think the Wolves series, if they do get the Wolves in the next series, it's going to be on Draymond Green. Like, it's weird to say that, but I think if Draymond can really guard really well and force them to play a small ball brand, which I think they're going to have to eventually do. I don't think Soto will be able to play big the entire series, because hopefully if Post has a good series, a decent series in that series, that will make a big shift. If
Jimmy will be back by then, right?
Some threes.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
He will be. Ox, I got a bruise.
They're going to get out this series first, but
I got a bruised ass,
sure.
Ox. I'll live.
I
I'll
think
be all right.
tonight's
Don't
gonna be a
worry.
task. I think tonight's
Nothing
gonna be a
broken,
task.
nothing torn.
Without
I'm good.
Jimmy, it's going to be a task. Like you said, they missed a lot of shots. They missed free throws last game. I think tonight will be a task for sure. I think last game was their game to win without Jimmy. I think this game, if they're playing without Jimmy, it's going to be much harder.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if the Warriors win today, it's over. Like, we all understand. It's probably
This
over.
series is a wrap.
It's
Probably
This series is
over.
a wrap.
If they win today, if the Rockets
Especially with a
win
young team
Rockets
like
win
that,
today-
yes.
Rockets win today, I expect this to probably go 6.
I had the Warriors in
Well,
6.
like a difficult
Yeah.
6 is what I mean.
Yeah, I had the
So, I mean,
Warriors in 6.
You also got to know too, like when that game too, we talked about it when Jimmy went down early. Even the Warriors were unprepared for that. But then in game 3, Steve Kerr got 2 days to scheme for that. He's like, okay, we know Jimmy's not going to be here. So now we got to do what we got to do to get this one. And I think they executed that. They got the job done. So shout out to the preparation for as far as that goes too. But if they can win one more, because Jimmy's not playing tonight again.
I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't heard anything on his status yet. Nope, I have not.
Yeah.
All right, everybody in the chat, y'all make sure you turn on your notification bells. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you become a member, and make sure you just keep doing what you do best in the chat. I also do want to shout out all of our Hall of Famers because y'all come through and hold it down. My man Miner, my man Cheese, my man Vale. He came up on the stage last week on Friday, and he also pulled up the playback. And then also Multi Kenny. Y'all know Multi Kenny. Y'all, it's Monday. And we do have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we want to get into the Detroit Pistons series because there was a controversial call. We want to talk about Damian Lillard, and we also want to talk about Jokic and the Nuggets.
I was wondering
making a series of this.
I was wondering when we was going to get to that.
We'll get to that, but
right
it's
really
Monday,
wondering when
y'all.
we
And
That's
y'all
a series right there. That's
Yes, it is.
y'all know on Monday what that means. That
Comments of the week.
means we got the top 5 comments of the week, courtesy of everybody that, is in the comment section and really holds it down. Austin, I know you do got to leave here in a second, but before you do get up out of here, I do want to read one comment of the week that was actually last week's comment of the week, and it was addressing you. So let me go ahead and throw this on the screen. One of the comments of the week from last week, a member, A Herbo 18, said, I really enjoyed Austin on the show and felt like it was his most natural episode so far. I found myself forgetting he was in the league because he does so well fitting in just as a regular panelist. Hopefully that does not sound like a backhanded compliment because that's not my intention. LOL.
Imagine a dude who used to play pro basketball fitting in with people who talk basketball. Imagine that. Wow. Holy
There's
shit.
other guys who know hoop and talk hoop.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. In the words of Mars, El Glaze.
Facts, El Glaze, man. What the hell? He ain't never talk about how I fit in with the panel.
Mars, you Rain Man looking. Don't get me started.
like Strong Cap?
Not that Rain Man. No.
Mars, you know what that movie is? Wow. Okay. Shouts. I didn't know you knew that.
Fellas, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
brother. Good
All
to
right.
see you. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah, bro.
Tap in
See you
with
later,
you.
bro.
I'll tap in
Merry
with y'all
Christmas.
soon for sure.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep.
No doubt.
Happen after it's 2-2. Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, y'all. The next comment of the week that we got is from Sam Gibson BN1JH. BN1JH said,
Yep.
Ron been hosting like a top 5 host of all time. The last 2 episodes. I think that
Yeah,
includes today too.
you had your Jalen Green week last week, by the way. Shout out to you, bro.
Hey, well, I think we know what that means for this week.
Muted Ox.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday were some pretty good episodes.
They
last
were.
week. I mean, the whole week was great, but like we got into a. Oh, that's because Kawhi was cooking. Oh yeah, we you know what? It's really the NBA just giving us peak content. Man.
Yeah,
Shout
They
out to
really
them.
are. They really are.
Shout out to them dudes for really playing
Yes, they
ball.
are.
These playoffs
Yes,
have
they
been
are.
great, man.
And,
These have been
y'all
great.
got lucky that Austin hit me last minute to come on the show because today was going to be an all-time episode. Hey, chat, y'all could
It
just
was
use
an
your
all-time
imagination.
episode, man.
No, it was, but I had some shit on the way, y'all. But next Monday, Austin saved you niggas today. But chat, don't worry. Hey, better late than never, right?
Austin.
Hey, top five. Real quick though, let's address this comment of the week. Top 5 host of all time, like El Glaze.
Hey, man. Finally, a good comment of the week. Finally. But all right, y'all. The next comment of the week is from Kev Blaze 6318, episode 543. He said, if you want the truth out of Mars, all you got to do is randomly put players on his Rockets team and he will not hold back. Doesn't matter who it is.
Facts. Facts.
What's that supposed to mean?
Facts.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that Mars.
What's that supposed to mean, man?
Nah, they cooking with that comment of the week for
What's
sure.
that supposed to mean? I just give my
Oh, they
opinion on
cooking
players,
with that.
man.
Hell yes.
Some
He
guys
cooking
just
up.
aren't like some guys are good just away from the Rockets. That doesn't mean they're not good.
Nah, he cooking up for
They
real.
good over there. They good over there. They ain't
If
gonna
you
go
come to the
anywhere
Rockets
else.
and you garbage, or if you come to the Rockets,
they good where they at. They good where they at. Yeah. Hey, I rock with Ben Simmons. You good on LA, man. You
let
good.
Ben Simmons get on the
Nah,
Rockets,
he
boy.
good over there.
Holy shit, we gonna
What,
find out
Amen
Ben
Thompson,
Simmons
but
over here.
worse? Like, no, stay over there. Be impactful over there.
Let KD get on the Rockets. We're gonna see who KD really is.
Oh, hey, yeah. a top
See,
10
that's the
player.
truth. See, now we
A
get the
top
truth
10
out
player
of
of all
KD.
time.
There
A top
you
10
go.
player of all time. That's what that is. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, you know I got pressed at the gym yesterday. Shout out my man AJ, 6'5" with a burner. He pressed me at the gym. So KD not top 10 all time? I said,
Shout out to AJ. He was cooking.
I said, nah,
No,
definitely
he's
not
not.
all time, and definitely not since 2000. I said, what? Top 10 small forwards? Top 10,
So you was
top
yeah,
10
so you
Warrior
was
player
yapping.
all
So
time?
you was
I just had to figure it out.
No, you was yapping. You was yapping.
And what y'all got on the court, he made you pay for that?
Not necessarily me, but he made somebody pay for it.
Sound like
AJ
he was
nice
frying
though.
up.
AJ gonna get to it, but hey, so am I. So, hey, ask him what happened to his squad last week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. The next
He's not
comment of the
upset.
week is from SOS CJ. SOS CJ said, I know Ron ain't trying to hold people accountable for their takes. Nah, Ron, we all still waiting on that OKC apology. I ain't forget when you said Memphis is just as good, if not better than OKC. Memphis's big three is greater than OKC's big three, and all types of other nonsense. Come on, Ron. Where's the apology? Don't make me drop receipts. I said this, y'all.
Yes.
You was in the group chat when the Grizzlies were up 30. Talking about, I told you we was going back to Memphis.
And then what happened?
They ain't going back.
Series
All
is
right,
over.
so first off,
We talking about
look,
Ja got hurt. That's why Ja got
thank
hurt.
you. And then
Ja
you heard what
was
y'all
getting
said,
hurt.
and I believe Ja more than I believe any of y'all. Ja said he had him figured out. So we was finna make that comeback, but
Ja,
that's
come on.
neither here nor there. We have a comment of the week addressing. What's
For
up?
the record, Ron, I don't remember none of that.
Thank you, Big Ox. And I never said that Memphis' big three was better than OKC's big three. I just said that they have a nice big three. But that's neither here nor there.
You said Jaren
OKC
Jackson was an MVP candidate, but that's what it is.
that's when he was playing like MVP candidate. But once again, he's down here in Cancun with me right now. And I do want to say, OKC, I will put some respect on you guys. Okay. You guys handled Memphis. You cleaned, you put him on the end of the broomstick, mopped up the floor with him, got him the hell up out of here. So shout out to OKC. You guys are serious. You guys are legit. You guys are an all-time team, and we'll see if you guys can keep this up. But you took care of Memphis. So
let's chill out with the all-time team. Yeah, let's hold on.
Oh,
no, that's what they want me to
they
say.
were
Chill.
in regular season.
That's what
They're
they want me to
awesome.
say.
They are. Oklahoma City is awesome. Let's.
They were an all-time great team in the regular season.
All right. Okay. So they're all-time great team in the regular season. Got it. I got you.
The Boston Celtics were last year.
Yes, they were, and then they finished the job. So
Yeah, finished. All right. Next comment of the
They
week.
actually did. I don't know what that was.
All right, fellas. The next comment of the week. Whoever is choosing these comments of the week, they are putting me to work. You guys obviously do know I have.
You want a
long
sub?
mornings.
You want a sub?
I would love a sub.
All right, I got you, bro. Let me put
Thank
the
you,
super chat
Swiper.
up, no matter how
Thank
long
you.
it is.
This is the 2-part comment, by the way.
No problem. I got you, bro.
All right, it's damn near a whole book, but here you go.
That's fine.
That's
no,
it's from your good
real
friend.
talk.
That's
You
not
still
a-
want to
that's-
read it?
Yeah, that's not even a book. In the convo about when can we determine the better player, hindsight will win, because hindsight is needed, is a very fragmented sentence, by the way. Even for Mars, when he asks, when did Steph become better than CP3? He's able to ask that question because every following season, after like 14 or 15, we all know that Steph was definitively better. If he were just better in 14 or 15, and then Chris continued to be better the following seasons, we would all come to the conclusion that Steph had just played better that season, but CP3 was still better than him, if that makes sense.
I prefer Ron's reading.
I was trying to read it the way it was typed out.
I prefer Ron's reading.
We got to do better with the punctuation. I've been telling everybody that for a long time.
Yeah, I was literally just
real
reading
talk,
it the
they
way
say
it was
you don't
written
know how to
out.
type. Damn.
You guys can't just like
flow
you
with
got a
it.
punctuation should be
Right.
like just
Can you just
Y'all-
flow with
look,
it?
that's what I'm saying. Y'all mad at me. I literally just read the sentence verbatim.
Hey, it don't matter. It don't matter. We got it. No big deal. I just want to say, like, I guess it's weird to y'all, but for me, I think real talk is right. I'll start by that. But at the same time, he was better, then he was better, then he was better, then he was better. You know what I'm saying? I can't just, why somebody just got to be definitively better? Like, yeah, he was better this time, but he was better that time. I mean, it's basketball. They play so much basketball.
It's just hard to have these conversations because everybody feels differently. So it's like
Right.
somebody might even if I'm giving you factual evidence, or even if I'm giving you my take, you still could completely disagree with it. Like, it's nothing that we could tell Austin today, right now, to make him not think that Steph Curry's better than Luka or SGA right now.
Those people are called fans, Ron. We all are.
But I mean, he got a point.
Never
Though.
be a fan. I would never.
He got a point. Right now, Steph is better than him. But
playing better than him, yeah.
But see, this is the thing. We all got our different layers that we're gonna add to it. Chill, you're gonna add the last 3 years. You're gonna Swiper, you might add the regular season. Mars, you might add context to who the season or to what's going on with the teams and stuff. So it's like we all have different layers. So it's like it's a lot of nuances to that conversation.
My mind be changing too. I'm gonna add however I'm feeling today.
Ox ain't got no loyalty. He better than you tomorrow. He better than you.
It's my loyalty is to basketball.
Sure, absolutely. And
you know what I'm saying? When we doing this, that's where my loyalty lies. I'm a fan of basketball over everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, I'm fine with it not making sense to everybody else. That's cool. I'm just giving it to you how I feel about it.
And on some level, Ox, it does work because what it does is it keeps me on my toes and it makes me get better. Because tomorrow Or today you was better than me, so you better than me today, which means I got to come in here tomorrow and be better than you. And if I ain't better than you tomorrow, then you got the edge on me again, which means that every day I got to keep doing what I'm doing. So I can appreciate that. I definitely can appreciate.
You know, we have good days and bad days too. Chill.
Yes.
You can get worse tomorrow. You can go to the gym and work on something that's gonna make your game worse.
Yeah, and I might not have been as good. However, to Ron's point, you know what I've done over the course of the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, consistently. I mean, that matters to me. That the reason why I've always stood on what goes on in the past is because of what teams do. Swiper, there's a reason why there's a banner hung up in your building. There's a reason why we have, when we come in here, when we talk about who the league MVP is going to be this season. There's a reason why we talk about who the defensive player of the year is going to be, because of what they've done and what we think they're going to continue to do. That's why we do that. We don't do that.
A lot of times those predictions don't come true, though.
Well, I've been advocating for Evan Mobley over the last 2 years. I've been talking about Evan Mobley, and I haven't just talked about Evan Mobley this year. Mars told me before the season started how good of an athlete Amen Thompson was this season. Even last year, he was telling me that he looks like a young Scottie Pippen. Why is he talking about him? Why is he talking about him like that? Because of what he's seen from him not over the course of just 6 months, over the course of seasons. This is what he looks like to me. So that's why I think about the past being important, and you continuing to build on that. We can't just go off of, all right, what you're doing right now.
Why not? So here's the reason. This is my only pushback to that. Because first off, when you say this, it's a one-sided coin. You only look at one side of the coin. So when we do, for instance, we just did the Ant and we just did the Luka thing, right?
Sure.
And you're like, it's no way he could be better than Luka because what Luka's done in the past and also what Luka's doing right now. But you just completely disregard what Ant did in the playoffs last year. Sure, Luka outplayed him in that series, but what did he do in the 2 prior series? He raised his game to a whole nother level.
Yes, he did.
On top of that, we're not even talking about what just happened in the regular season.
Sure.
Ant had a better regular season than Luka Doncic.
Yes, he did. Now,
So we got the playoffs, we got the regular season, and we got right now them playing against each other. And that's a valid case to say that. And then one more example, Chill, because you did it, and this whole thing started with Luka and SGA.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did SGA outplay Luka last year,
mm-hmm.
but also you never factor in what the player did prior to them leading up to being better than that player. SGA gave you a whole season averaging 30.
Yep.
So he had Luka was spectacular. He's been spectacular since he got in the league. But let's not factor in the fact that, or let's not forget to factor in that SGA was first team All NBA 2 years in a row.
100%. And that actually validates my point, Ron, because what happens when you are first team All Pro for 2 years, what you're doing previous to that, you're now closing the gap on what we were. So before that, we weren't having this conversation about you, but now we actually are having this conversation about you. We weren't having conversations about Ant and Luka a year ago, 2 years ago. But the fact that what he's doing now makes him, and he's gotten so much better as a long ball shooter, as a scorer, the gap between now Luka, according to Ox, the gap between Luka and Anthony Edwards has closed significantly just off of what we just seen. That's why I'm saying that what you do in the past matters. It can't just be you were here and then you just jumped over this guy. Well, wait a minute. What did you do to get up to here? What did you do to get to this point where now we can have a legit conversation about you being over him? Because it can't just be what I just did right now. No, it can't just be that. And it sounds to me, listening to Ox, that the gap between both Luka and SGA, I keep saying SGA, I'm sorry. The gap between Luka and Ant has closed.
Well, Chill. I also think that you have to be a certain level of player. I think Anthony Edwards has qualified himself for this conversation. Sure. I think this year the leap he's taken, you know what I'm saying? Even the adversity that Luka dealt with some adversity this year. But I mean, Ant had his own adversities this year as well. I'm talking on the court, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, dealing with different coverages, different double teams, even showing a moment of weakness in my mind when he was talking about, man, I don't want to have to pass the ball, you know, and overcoming that though, because I was down on Ant when he made that statement, and then overcoming that. You know what I'm saying? And rocking with Julius Randle through the season, somebody who's got a stain on his name and making that team better. I think Anthony Edwards has qualified himself for this conversation. So I don't think it's fair for you to make it seem like Ant like I'm just saying out of nowhere, like, oh, Ant's better. Like Ant's been putting on all season. He's potentially first team All NBA. A lot of y'all got him in that 5. I know some of y'all got him to take that 5th spot. I got Brian, but I don't think Anthony Edwards is just coming out of nowhere. I don't think it's fair for us to make it seem like that at all. Ant's definitely had a hell of a season, and so the fact that he's taking on Luka and Brian, I think that means something. Especially, and if you want to talk about seasons prior, don't forget they just swept Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and the rest of the Phoenix Suns last year too. Like Ant's not just coming out of nowhere. He was in the Western Conference Finals last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ant gets a lot of.
Ant not just jumping on the scene.
Well, I think Ant gets a lot of credit for his individual playoff performances and he raises his level in the playoffs. And so for me, that's why I'm as high on Ant as I am. But I'm also extremely high on the Wolves. Like I think the Wolves are much better than people have given the credit for. Like I think having a 1 through 8 as they arguably have the best 1 through 8 in the NBA.
Swiper, you roasted me all year about Julius Randle and the
Wolves. No, that's fine. No, I'm saying, but that's cool. But Julius also proved himself this year. I think that needed to happen. He had to prove himself.
And Is this a 180 Swiper? Are you hitting the U-turn?
Yes, it is.
No, 100%. There's no U-turn. I've been telling people since February this team was like a top 5 team in the league. I've been consistent on this. Julius was a part of that. So like this isn't new information. I've already said this. I think what I underestimated was. And again, I need to get off this train, like, because I've been off for multiple series now. But I never should have picked the Lakers, just in the part because having 1 to 8 playable players is a problem. That's an issue.
Wait, of those 8 playable players you keep talking about with the Wolves, how many of them would start on the Nuggets?
So I think that's the fit thing. Like I don't know if you could argue Julius is a better player than AG. It's just depending on the slot, right? Like, would he start over Aaron Gordon?
I'm just curious to know which one of those 8s.
And it's just starting 2 guards.
I think Jaden would. I think Jaden would this season.
Mix the teams together. Swiper.
Yeah,
give me your starting 5.
Jokic
at the 5.
I think Jaden. I think Nikhil.
Murray at the 2. Murray at the 2.
Murray's at the 1. Yeah, probably AG. So probably Jokic.
Murray at the 1 and at the 2. Who's at the 3?
So probably Murray, Ant, Jaden, probably AG, probably starting, and then
Gordon at
Jokic,
the 4
probably.
and Jokic at the 5. So we got 1 guy. So that's Ant.
No, I said Jaden.
Okay, so wait a minute. You said Aaron
Gordon at the 3. Jaden at the 3.
Let me Jamal, Ant, Jaden, AG, Yoke. Probably the starting 5.
I got you.
But
that's bad.
Rudy. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They have 8. They have 8 players. Like they have legitimately 8. I think Mike Conley's still like a good player.
Swiper.
What? What's up?
Don't fall into Mars' nastiness. But y'all,
Rudy is really good.
Rudy is not starting on this team. No,
come on. He's not even. It's not even.
So Jokic
because they got Joker. That's why Mars.
Jokic at the 4. Rudy at the 5.
No, we're not moving Joker.
All right, y'all. Come on.
We're not doing that. No, we're not moving Joker to the 4. We're not doing that. We're not moving Joker to the 4. No, we're not.
Why?
Mars, you done so well today. Mars. Shouts.
Why can't Jokic play the 4? Yo,
I
got one more.
No, Ron. Wait, Ron. Can we talk a little? Can we talk a little hoop, bro, please? Oh, you got more comments of the week? My bad. I didn't know it's comments of the week.
We still got a game. We got 2 games to get through. We got 30 minutes, y'all. We haven't even got to the games yet.
Rudy playing 10 minutes a game. With all due respect.
Ron, we got 2 more games left. We got 10 minutes.
Jackson Hayes played 4 minutes.
Jokic finally has some rim deterrence in Rudy, and you're not going to let them play.
No, he got it in Jaden McDaniels.
We're wasting precious time, y'all. 2 games, 30 minutes left.
McDaniels as well.
I just want to make
Murray, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Jokic, Rudy Gobert.
Right. I just want to make it very clear. So, Swiper, I just want to make it very clear to everybody listening that Swiper not only thinks that the Timberwolves have the best 1 through 8, but in that same breath, Swiper, you do realize that all those unplayable players are starters on that team.
What did you? I feel like you misheard me on this. This is what I'm saying. This is like, I know you
Damn,
don't listen.
I ain't even see
I
what
literally
you
said
did
they were
to you,
unplayable in
Sniper.
game 3. This
Woo,
is not
you
the same
took your whole
conversation.
statement, reversed it, and slapped you over the
There's
head.
no
with it.
reversing. I think
Damn.
a lot of y'all are hooked on
Oh, man,
phonics when
Sniper,
it comes to
come on,
listening and conversation.
Sniper, I listened to what you said. You
Yeah,
said
they were
this was the
unplayable
best
in game
team
3.
Hey, but all these dudes are unplayable, but they're starting
game
on this
3.
team. All right,
Yes.
all right.
Hey, Swiper.
My bad.
Now
Sniper,
that's-
my bad.
I don't know
Hey,
how
now
well
that's
Randall
how you
was.
hit a U-turn.
There is no U-turn. Dumb skin. All right,
Game 5
you have a
in
huge,
Denver. Oh,
you
yeah.
have a huge job to do, Ron. Please do your job. We have 2 more
Do your
games.
job,
and
bro.
All right, hey, I'll do
Please.
my
Hold
job.
him,
You do your job.
hold him
I
accountable.
am. We haven't even got to the game. We wasted
my
5
actions.
minutes.
Do this.
We wasted 5 minutes.
Hold him
Ron,
accountable, Swiper.
get to your job. Goodness gracious.
Hold him accountable, Swiper. Do your job, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Golly.
All right. The next comment of the week we have is from, oops. Here we go, y'all. The next comment of the week is from JD Toon 29. JD Toon 29. It's a long one, y'all. Here we go. He said, don't downplay current players and talk up past players and think you making any sense. Ronald McDonald made the most ESPN take ever about Jokic. Could be any current player. Did not go down about Jokic. He said Jokic did not go down shooting, and all these historic players would. Bunch of lies. Not because those greats weren't great, but because they weren't a part of this hyper-analyzed era, i.e. social media era. Hakeem, who is without a doubt a top 10, 15, 20, whatever player ever, won back-to-back titles. In 1996, he got swept, going 3 for 9 for 6 points, 8 for 21 for 17 points, 7 for 12 for 24 points, and 11 for 19 for 26 points. Where was the fight? And then JD Toon said, that's obviously a stupid box score point, but that is the point. It's disingenuous. It's a disingenuous take. I'm sure I could find the same for other players or an aspect of their game that lacked. But it's silly. It's a damn team sport. Contextualize it like that. Otherwise, it's meaningless. Also, I genuinely think that Zubac deserves, and the Clippers team, a lot of credit for playing Jokic so well. Denver looked so shaky overall, but I really think the Clippers deserve the credit for a lot of that too.
Yep, I agree.
I agree to a point, but also,
I also agree.
what happened in game 3?
What happened in game 3?
You mean game 4?
No. What happened in game 3?
He's going back to the game previous. He's saying
The
that
one that
Jokic wasn't
complaining
aggressive
about,
enough.
Yeah, the one
He wasn't
complaining.
aggressive. Now, tell me what happened in game 4.
Aaron Gordon saved his legacy. Yeah.
Ooh, Aaron Gordon, boy. And to think that boy can't even move.
Yeah. He got up for that apple, by the way. Apple on the last shot of the game. But yeah, shout out to Aaron Gordon.
Does that count as a heave?
That was an
Yes.
assist. That's the great Jokic. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
so we don't.
He definitely seen that. That was the pass. Come on.
It was absolutely an apple.
I would love. We can get to the game and talk basketball when y'all want,
Let's-
because I
let's
know
talk
Ron
about
and
it
I
right
can
now.
both in this
Whenever
narrative
we-
thing.
whenever-
This is crazy.
That's what we
gotta
wait
talk
Yapping,
about it because
wasting
I think that was a
time.
pass from the great Jokic.
It was an apple. It was an apple.
Well, let's talk about it, fellas, because the Denver Nuggets have evened the series at 2-2, courtesy of, well, what they did last game. The Clippers controlled the majority of the game, but when it came down to it the most, Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon saved the day. Jokic had 36 points, 21 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Wow, what?
And- what?
The Clippers controlled the majority of the game
Yeah, but
when they were down 20.
What
No, they
game
weren't.
were you watching?
No, they weren't, Ron.
The Nuggets controlled the game and then threw it away, and then won.
Ron, did you watch the game, bro?
Did you watch
Nah,
the game?
I
Okay, that's
didn't.
what I
didn't.
figured. Okay, that's what I figured.
I meant
So-
to, y'all know I be doing this. I meant to
Okay.
say the Nuggets control the majority of the game, but I said the Clippers.
Okay,
Yeah. So the Nuggets controlled the majority of the game, and then the Clippers came storming back, courtesy of Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Jokic not playing any defense. And then the Clippers went ahead, and then the Nuggets went ahead, and then the Clippers went ahead, and then Jokic did what he did, and he threw a.
Swiper, you want to jump in here, bro?
No, I know Jokic is never going to be talking about like in actual like good and healthy terms in this space.
Really quickly before you really quickly before you go, Ox, can you?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm
Ox,
saying.
do you
That's
remember
what it
on
comes down to.
Saturday you and I
Glad you waited
on
for
Chill
this.
with Chill? Ox, do you remember the stat line I told you about Joker before the game?
I don't remember exactly, but I know that we both had him having a pretty big one.
I think the stat line I told you, I think I was looking at something like 37, like 18 and like 12 something like that.
Yep, 30. Yep, that's what you said.
Something like that. And we got something pretty close. But go ahead, Swiper. I apologize.
They hard fought game.
Well, chill. We've been getting some really good games. We've been getting really good playbacks. Y'all need to get on playback. Me and Chill watched the Warriors Rockets game.
Fantastic game.
Denver
Great game.
Clippers game. I'm talking about really good basketball games.
Fantastic.
So while we were, messing around talking about the game and whatnot, like that was a good game of basketball. I can't ask for a better series than this, y'all.
I just have such a difficult time. And Ox, I had to get it back together when I was watching that Clipper game because I got so pissed off because it boils my blood to watch teams go to pieces. When they are doing so well and just for them to go to pieces. The Denver Nuggets act like they've never seen a zone before. All of a sudden, they can't play with a zone being thrown on the floor. And it's not like it's not like it was a huge zone and they were just covering so much area. The zone was wide open in the middle. Joker was wide open in the middle. Gordon was open on the Gordon was open in the dunker spot. Yes, he was. Gordon was open in the dunker spot. Not only was Gordon open in the dunker spot, we had guys open on the wing. It's like these guys, and not only that, which also boils my blood. I can't handle watching the Denver Nuggets, Joker doing everything that he does to get these guys ahead. They had one-on-one coverage between him and Zubac, and he took advantage of it. Not only did he take advantage of it, they now start doubling. So now he's kicking the ball out, and Christian Brown is knocking down open shots. Aaron Gordon is around the rim being as effective as he is, and they build a 22-point lead. With them building this 22-point lead, they're in control of the game, Ron. Now we get to the fourth quarter, and now they can't make a shot, and the Clippers go on this run, and it's save us, Joker, save us, when he did everything that he could, not only to get them to where they were, he did everything he could to keep them where they were. And that's why I was so upset with the Denver Nuggets, and the fact that we shouldn't even been in this space. Because he did everything that he could. Oh, my goodness, man. We had a 22-point lead. 22. Ox, they were up 18 with 8 minutes. And
Lester.
And I told y'all right then, shit, we got a lot of basketball left to play. Don't forget, the Kawhi Leonard effect is real.
Even if you had that much basketball, Swiper, I have a really difficult time with dumb basketball. Not only just dumb basketball, I have a difficult time with inefficient basketball. So Jamal Murray not taking care of the basketball the way he should when we get late in games, because those possessions matter the most, especially when you're up that big, because I feel like that demoralizes defenses when you take care of the basketball more. On top of that, Joker's got his hands full with Zubac on the block having to rebound. Meanwhile, they're gang rebounding. That's how they're getting their second chance opportunities. I do know that Joker is your best rebounder. Aaron Gordon has been an average rebounder throughout the course of his career, maybe a little bit above average at best. But that doesn't mean that he can't rebound. That doesn't mean that, because I saw him rebound against the Lakers last year, and he was really good. I just think that with this series now where we are, if the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray in particular, he's got to do a better job in taking care of the basketball more than anything. He's got to do a better job in taking care of the basketball. He's got to do a better job in getting downhill and getting to the rim, because I feel like they're keying in on that mid-range. That would explain why he's not being able to do what he's able to do. Other than that,
come on, Lester, you gotta pick it up, Lester.
I feel like Denver's still in this series, and I still think they can win this series.
Kawhi really needed that game.
He did. Ox.
I know the Clippers as a whole needed it, but I'm specifically Kawhi Leonard needed that basketball game. Aaron Gordon threw a big wrench in the program.
I mean, I blame the Clippers though. Like y'all gave them game one. Y'all fought back and got in game 4.
They did not give them game 1.
They gave them game 1.
No.
The same thing we're talking about with the Nuggets is it was literally the reverse. The Clippers
Can we-
couldn't
so-
all
so-
game one.
offensive rebounding. Chill couldn't
Okay,
get
They controlled all the
couldn't come up
game
with
one,
rebounds.
and then let the
So
Nuggets slip back
so
in
can
and
I
win
say
the
the same
game.
thing? So can I say the same thing about the Nuggets? I mean, how did they get up 22, Ron? And this
No,
isn't them going.
it's
This isn't
the
them.
same thing.
Right,
The
so-
same thing you're
That's
saying
Ron's
today
point.
is the same
That's
thing I'm
Ron's
saying
point.
about game one for the Clippers.
Well,
You
they
guys
gave him.
controlled the whole
Well, the
game
Nuggets
and
gave him
let
game
them-
2. Then
No, the
Can we
Nuggets,
skip-
the Nuggets.
how did the Nuggets
No.
not give them game 2?
I mean, you can say that. If that's
Well,
what you want to
that
say,
just-
I'm
that just
saying,
seems like-
I'm saying the Clippers gave them game one. In game 4, you had it won. You had it won.
Y'all had
In-
to do
in-
choke.
in-
But
in-
you didn't.
in-
But did you watch the game, Ron?
Yes, I watched the game.
Oh,
so I-
God.
Well, I'm being genuine because I
Yeah.
think, like Ron, I think the issue is that they played prevent offense the rest of the way. The Clippers went to that zone, and I just don't think Adamman made good adjustments to it personally, guy. He just didn't. They didn't make any adjustments to it whatsoever. Jokic and Murray were both playing at the top of the key. It was Bogey and it was Kawhi Leonard basically pushing them completely off the ball. Murray was getting the ball up by the time it was 16 seconds left, and they're trying to get in this 2-man game. They're just switching, and then they're fronting Jokic, and they're not doing anything behind those two the entire time. And then so it was turnovers, bad shots, Aaron Gordon turnovers. Jokic didn't get any touches during that stretch. They did a great job denying the basketball, and then Michael Porter Jr. was just hiding out in the corner. I mean, that's what I'm saying. All 5 of their starters played 42 minutes at least. Like at least.
What set is like what is their prevent offense?
Literally all they did was they were rolling the ball up the court to try to kill time when they were up like 22, 19, 18. And what it was doing was they were getting into their offense extremely late. And so they were just trying to hopefully get into the 2-man game with a switch and see if Jokic can get a face up and get a score. And they weren't doing anything behind those players.
So when I'm watching that swiper, right, I'm curious to know if you're up 20 points, why are you rolling the ball? Don't you want the clock to go?
No, you roll the remember the clock
shot
keeps moving.
doesn't go, but the
The
clock.
clock, the shot
The
clock.
clock keeps
clock
moving.
moves, the shot
Okay,
clock
see that's
moves.
because that's what I was wondering. Like, why are they rolling the ball out? What are they trying to? Why are they trying to preserve? You know what I'm saying? But okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay,
Mhm.
I didn't see that. But so
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out though. Like, what is the breakdown though?
They didn't once they went to the zone, they were keying in all the things the Nuggets were doing well, and they made no adjustments on the back end. And Murray hit 2 shots, thankfully, in that series. It was in that stretch. It was a mid-range, and it was an open 3-pointer. Remember, Aaron Gordon ran
That
into the
three
bat.
was big.
Huge. Aaron
Mhm.
Gordon tried to take full
Yeah, it
court, do a dump off pass. Ivica Zubac got the ball. Porter did not get a touch over that stretch at all. CB missed wide open 3-pointers, also missed a floater in that stretch. He just hasn't been shooting well, like as a jump shooter all in this series. So they did what they did in game 1 and 2. Basically, it's just like we're gambling off of your worst shooter, which is CB in this instance. And then the Nuggets just couldn't convert. But that's why Bogey gets the offensive rebound weak side versus Jokic with like 47 seconds left or something like that. And then the Nuggets score with 16 seconds left when Jokic gets like the Hakeem Sombor shuffle over Ivica Zubac. And then Kawhi came down. I think Zubac got the rebound, the offensive rebound in that last play. He's played amazing this series. He's getting all the NBA votes for a reason. Like I think he's really good. And then obviously you get the last play with Aaron Gordon and Jokic and all that. So
That
it's a
last
different
play,
type series.
that last play to me is it's on Ty Lue.
Wow.
Why? Because you're playing defense.
Yep.
It's a defensive possession. He had an opportunity to make substitutions. Why is James Harden in the game and we're playing defense?
Because
As a
Why is
rebounder?
Ron, I was saying that the whole
Why is
time. I'm
Derrick
like,
Jones
why?
Jr. not in the game?
because the unit that got them back in the game is the one that he's stuck with.
You're
That's
playing
the-
Yeah,
defense.
but
I'm just letting you know that James Harden was on the court while they were playing defense. I'm just letting you know that's
Still, Mars, that
I'm not
makes
saying I
sense.
agree with the decision. I'm
He
saying
had
that
an
was the
opportunity.
reason.
He had an
He
opportunity
also
to
was
make
the
a
reason.
sub.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a terrible reason, Tyloo. Terrible.
I don't remember the exact the whole full lineup. I don't know if it was Chris Dunn. Bogey was on the floor, wasn't he?
No, it was Norman, Bogey,
Was Chris Dunn?
James.
Chris Dunn had to be on the floor.
Kawhi. No, it was Ivica
was
Zubac,
Drew,
Kawhi, Harden.
Bogey, Harden, and Norman Powell.
Yeah, that's
Norman Powell.
disgraceful.
Yeah.
That's
It was
disgraceful.
it was
at
their
the
The
fourth
time.
quarter.
lineup that kept them in the game.
It's
the whole time.
disgraceful. Like you
But
got
what would have changed for
because
AD
he
there?
had an opportunity to make a sub.
Yeah, but what would the sub have done?
What do you mean? What would a sub have done?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
asking what.
it's a direct
Why
You
do
bring
you
in Derrick
not-
Jones, you bring in Batum. What changes?
What do you mean? What changes? Eric. So you think Aaron?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Simple
What?
question.
It's Mars. You're asking me a question that you think is a dumb question that I'm asking you that I think is a dumb question.
What
What-
changes?
What Aaron
I-
Gordon doesn't just jump over Derrick Jones Jr. and Nick Batum like that.
And the
It was
reason why they
James
did
Harden.
jump
It
over
was
him.
James-
Airball three.
It was James Harden that he caught that over. He
Yeah, because
doesn't just jump.
James Harden was in front of Christian Brown, so Aaron
But
Gordon
Mars-
was behind.
Mars, the thing about it is, so let me just jump in real quick, Ron. I'm with Ron on that because during the playback, I was saying this. Like, no, he should be out, he should be out, he should be, he should be. And I was saying Nick Batum, James Jones Jr.
I'm with that
I
point.
can't, but no, let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I can't tell you what would have happened different. But what I can say is I expect my more defensively inclined lineup to end that play. And I know it's like, well, Aaron Gordon caught the lob right there by the rim. I don't know. I can't do the what's the dude's name on the Marvel stuff that does the things,
Doctor
all
Strange.
the things too.
Doctor
Doctor Strange. I can't Doctor Strange this for you and tell you this is what I think would have happened. But I can say I don't think that would have happened. You know what I mean? And it I guess it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It makes sense.
I understood the scheme of somebody else got to do it besides Joker, and that's the shot you want. I mean, if we're late in the game and it's tied and you're trying to get a bucket, that's the shot I want. I want Joker shooting a fall away 28-footer with two guys on him. 100%, I want that. What I don't want is I don't want their front court guy to get a rebound. No, I don't want that.
But they've been getting
So I gotta
out rebounded all series,
And,
though.
and if that's
Yeah,
the case,
they
you
have,
don't want
yeah.
James Harden on the floor. I'm just saying, if we're playing offense, defense, it's no scenario. Doctor Strange. It's no scenario out of 1,000 scenarios where James Harden's on the court, and I got Derrick Jones Jr., Nick Batum, and Chris Dunn.
I even said Ben
it's
Simmons.
no
I even said Ben Simmons
would
at
have been
that
amazing.
point.
I mean,
right
my goat Ben Simmons would have been in the game. Like I'm saying, if I was Ty Lue, I would have done what you got. I would have made a bunch of subs. I'm having Kawhi out there, Zoo, Ben Simmons, Chris Dunn, Nick Batum. That's my five. That's what I'm going with. But I also understand why he didn't do that. So when Ron asked why, that's the only reason I answered why. It doesn't mean I agree with the why. Yeah, I don't agree with the why, but I understand the why.
Swipe.
Now, I also think it was just a freak play. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
sorry. I've never seen anything like that.
It was a freak play, but here's
I've
also
never
the thing
seen
too.
anything like that in my life.
Here's also the thing. You know that, first off, Swiper, you just said they've been getting out-rebounded all series, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about the Clippers, right?
Yeah, for most of the series. Yeah, they have.
And so you know that a shot's going to go up more than likely. Now, I mean, offensively, you want to get a shot up as late into the shot clock as you can, or as late into the game clock as you can, so they can't get a rebound and call a timeout or go get another.
Well, I don't think they had a timeout, by the way. So I think they, in case they got a rebound, wanted to have their offensive personnel on the floor.
You got Kawhi and you got James. That's all you need.
But that James was in the game.
I get that. Well, yeah, James wouldn't have been in the game.
That's what I'm saying.
You got Kawhi.
Kawhi wasn't good.
You got Kawhi.
But Kawhi wasn't doing
There's not
anything.
enough time for that, Swiper. There was 8 seconds left on the game.
They shouldn't have been. If the thought process was we need to have our guys out there for our potential last possession, it's a dumb decision.
Right.
You weren't getting another chance.
Secure the rebound.
Yeah,
they're not giving you the ball
like
back.
that can't have been the rationale.
One or two things are happening. Either we're going to score or we're going into overtime. They ain't getting the ball back. No, that's not happening.
But like, first of all, I don't know what David Adams is thinking. Yeah, let's just have Jokic ISO from 30 feet out.
What?
He ran away from the double team there because he knew.
I have no idea.
I think that's actually the Wemby. That's actually the Wemby Harrison Barn play. I think he just didn't want to get doubled on the turnaround, and then just ran out to
Swiper. You know what's crazy about that? He'd have hit that if it was Anthony Davis in front of him.
I bet it would have been cash, huh? That shit would've been
That's
cash.
Anthony Davis in front of him. That shit.
It wouldn't have touched the rim.
maybe.
But it literally, I mean, it still didn't touch the rim. It still didn't touch the rim. So you know, but like, literally, the best case scenario for Denver happens. Well, best case scenario was Jokic makes the shot wall, but like, next best, because if that ball hits the rim, the game's over.
Yeah.
So like, the fact that it missed everything is what gave the Nuggets the opportunity for Aaron Gordon to go make that play. And I've never seen a buzzer beater that close.
Okay, even the Dwight Howard one, there were 0.8 seconds left, and then once he made it, the clock ran out, which was crazy. But yeah,
this was like, that was ridiculous. I watched that replay 17 million times on the live broadcast. I didn't know if it counted or not. The whole time I was watching,
because you're not sure, Mars, we can't overturn it because it has to be indisputable evidence. But Swiper, I think that what you guys are doing come game 5, I mean, what you're doing to build leads, I think that that's going to work. Keep Joker in the action. Keep playing off of Joker. Jamal Murray, I think your shot selection could be a little bit better. Do a better job at taking care of the basketball more than anything. Find MPJ And when I say find MPJ, find him more in transition because I feel like in the half court he's just out there. Find MPJ, find MPJ in transition, get him going, and I think that continue to help Joker rebound. And once you build up that lead, because you've built leads in this series. Once you build up that lead, the way you continue to keep that lead, you got to get on the glass. You have to rebound more than anything. You have to do that.
But y'all gonna pretend like y'all don't know why Denver was up like that. The biggest thing you have to do is keep Russell Westbrook on the bench.
The Nuggets also deployed the Chris Dunn is the Clippers Russell Westbrook.
I was just about to say that, Mars. I swear.
They deployed. Hey, they doing this to Russ. Here's your Russell Westbrook. Ignore him, and then the Clippers offense was stifled. Was that bittersweet for you, Swiper? Watching like the plan?
No, I mean that's the best option. No, not at all. I mean, he'd been hitting for the last month and a half. So at some point he's gonna regress back to the mean, and he did very violently. But honestly, for me, I think Denver defense deserves a lot more credit than what it gets. Their defense has been really good, like for most of the series. I think minus game 3 with the effort stuff, the first quarter of game 1. Outside of that, they're playing very hard and they're playing very physical. That's why the Clippers were complaining.
1 for 9.
Yeah, 1 for 9.
1 for 9, Moss. 6 threes, by the way. He's wide open.
The Clippers have been repeatedly complaining with the contact they're getting. And y'all, Christian Brown. What's funny is as the series gone on, he's getting better at guarding James Harden. Like he did a really, really good job this last game.
Michael Porter Jr. got suspended.
No, because I don't think letter of the law, like they're gonna he went to near where the rim was. I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be I feel like the NBA did that. That'd be whatever, but maybe, but I don't think so.
I know when the NBA did do that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I think they're playing really hard. The fact that they felt like they had outside of Russ, there's no one else they can go to. I think that's a little sus, honestly. Like
you guys play again tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So technically they can do it again.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Is it going to be similar in terms of the rotation?
I mean, Russ might be back, so he'll be in. Peyton Watson will probably get more minutes this game. But Mars, I think the issue is they got a 20-plus point lead because they dominated the third quarter. But I don't think
from Joker.
Yeah, you can't do that. I don't think you can just run back and be like, all right, bet, like, Joker, Maul, Brown, Porter, AG, get back out there. You need to give at least Jokic and Murray a little bit of rest, I think. And in that way, you can get them in the game with maybe 9 minutes left and get them 3 minutes sat, like of game time. I think that'll make a huge difference.
As good as anybody is, nobody is penciling in their best player to get them 15 to 20 in a quarter. Nobody's doing it. No.
Yeah, I mean, if you're that guy, I mean, I expect.
Even if you are that guy, I mean, okay, in the playoffs, we're going to pencil you in at some point. You're going to get going. I'm going to get 15 to 20 from you. Even though, for all intents and purposes, Ron, just so you know, Jalen Brunson is averaging 15 a game in the fourth against Detroit. I just want to put that out there.
Clutch player of the year right there.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a big time risk when you just trying to pencil in and just expect Joker to go on these type of runs, whether it's the second quarter or it's the third quarter, and then not supplement that. No.
All right, fellas. We got a lot of super chats, so we are going to hear what you guys had to say to us. Let's get into it. Pip named Slickback said, if I'm Luka, I'm not re-signing in LA. I'm sorry, I'm keeping my options open. Put Luka on Miami, Spurs. Heck, next summer the Wolves have cap space. LA is old, no picks, and too many holes. Free Luka.
They're going to build that thing around Luka. That's what they're going to do. They're going to build the unit around him.
I wouldn't stay either. Besides the point, but he's got 2 years. Well, next year and then a player option. I wouldn't resign either, but I'm not Lucas, so I don't know what's going through his mind.
Why would you not resign?
I wouldn't want to play for the Lakers, so it's just. But I also just think
too many Glazers.
No, it's just I just wouldn't want to play for the Lakers. I also just don't think JJ Redick's that good of a coach. But I think. If I'm Luka, I'm 26, right? He's 26?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Next year, he'll be 27. And then, I'm not trying to wait for this team to be built around me. I'm not. I want to go to a team where I can be there and we're in contention. Like the team that I was going to have in Dallas before I got traded. They were ready to compete. That was a team that was ready to compete. I'm not trying to have to wait another 2 years for this team to be built. Whether LeBron's there or not, I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I I don't know what team that is. I don't know the answer to that question, but I'd be exploring my options.
In 2 years, Luka 28 too, so he'll be smack that in his prime.
Yeah, not waiting another because like things go so fast in the NBA. Like the Bucks won in 21, and everyone swore that was the next dynasty. They've got past the first round once since then, 2022.
That's it.
That's the only thing. Like, and now Dame obviously tore his Achilles, hoping that we can see Dame come back and be some sort of form of himself. It's always disappointing when someone goes through an injury like that. But like the Bucks' time is over. The Nuggets won a championship in 2023, where they're now in a dogfight.
We're having the same conversation with them.
Like it's like I'm not trying to wait for you to build this team around me again. Like, I'm not doing that personally. So
yeah,
but I'm not Luka. Once again, I'm not Luka. I'm not saying this is what Luka should do. I'm saying if I was Luka, this is what I would do.
All right. Sorry Key sent through a members chat. He's been around here for about 17 months. Sorry Key said Trey better, Anthony Edwards better. Dub Mars just finished episode 22 of the Hoop Talk Pod.
Oh yeah, that was our episode yesterday. We spoke about the playoffs in general. It was a good episode. I mean, it's always a good episode. But yeah, shout out to Ant. Shout out to Trey.
Definitely shout out to Trey,
I guess.
And shout out to the Hoop Talk Podcast.
Thank you.
Well, one guy on the Hoop Talk Podcast.
Okay,
you know who you are.
Okay.
Realist123 said this loss was on JJ. Your fourth quarter offense is iso ball and drive and kick. It's 2025. Draw up some goddamn plays. LeBron's lazy ass pass like he did against the Bulls. ... That being said, Lakers in 7.
That's not their fourth quarter offense. That's their all 4 quarters offense. The only time that wasn't their offense was the third quarter when the Timberwolves decided to stop switching. And I don't know why the Timberwolves did that. I'd have to ask Chris Finch. They decided to go to start blitzing and double teaming, and then you saw the Lakers torch that. When the Timberwolves switched, that's been the Lakers' offense the whole series.
Yeah, when LeBron threw that ball, I immediately thought about that Bulls game. That was a horrible pass.
Terrible turnover.
Damn, Bron.
Terrible foul, too.
NY Smooth said that stretch in the second half was hard to watch for the Rockets. They were throwing bricks at the rim, airballed left and right. The Rockets just need to finish better at the rim, and they'll be fine.
They do need to have better action at the rim. They really do. No doubt about that.
It's really that simple. Just put the ball in the basket. Like all this X's and O's stuff. Like, I'm sorry, just put the ball in the basket.
I mean, I know it sounds elementary, Mars. Yo, just run the ball in the end zone, right? Just hit the ball, right? I do know that. However, I mean, when you have areas where you can score, like I don't think we're asking Amen Thompson. I don't think we're asking too much of Amen Thompson for him to hit a 7-footer or to make a layup. I don't think we're asking.
Like you're right at the rim missing a dunk. Like
yeah, come on, man.
Put the ball in the rim.
I don't think we're asking too much for you to do that, yo. We're not. No,
I ain't asking you to make sidestep threes like you Steph Curry. I'm asking you in the paint, make a floater. You're at the rim, make a dunk. Don't miss a layup. Like simple thing. Make your free throws. I'm not asking for much. Like I'm not asking for much.
Ron, are you you're not about to read that one? Because I don't know about Giannis. Yeah, I don't know about Giannis being gone, but I do think we haven't really expressed the severity and how serious this is with what just happened with Damian Lillard yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That's serious. That's a
monkey wrist and everything, Ox.
Yeah, that's a whole season. Like this next season is it's a wash. Like
the thing about it,
what is Giannis going to do now?
Like even with Dame.
Yeah, this team wasn't doing anything.
Dame turned to 35. Like.
Right,
y'all point out how Brook Lopez is ancient to me every chance you get. So like, what?
You got something solid to stand on, though, Ron.
Yeah, you do.
No, you do not.
Well, first of all,
this team is not.
Ron, okay. Well, let's not go that route. Let's just keep it with what it is. They had Dame. So regardless how you felt about him, they had Dame. Now
I'm saying even with Dame, if I'm Giannis, I didn't feel comfortable.
Dame was playing at an all-league,
and the team wasn't good. And the team was good.
And what I'm thinking is
right. So now I'm saying, look how much worse they are now.
Yeah, but the point me and Ron are making is they weren't winning anything regardless.
Right.
With Dame, without Dame, they weren't winning.
I understand that, but like,
Ox's
they're going to do that.
Right, and Ox's point.
Oh yeah, it's doubly cooked. That's what it is. It's doubly cooked. Like,
I just thought that I thought that this offseason, you know, even if Dame was healthy, like we could upgrade at the 5 spot, right? We could upgrade at the 5 spot. We could get, because we've seen teams in the offseason get better. We 100% did that. And Milwaukee, when they traded for Dame, they wanted to show that we're not just sitting on our hands doing nothing. They wanted to show that, right? So I can get with that part. Now the fact that he's not playing at all, and I'm going to lead. I'm going to now trust them to put something substantial around Giannis for him to compete in the Eastern Conference. No, I don't.
I was talking about this a little bit with my man Spencer Hodge yesterday, and he basically he put it all into perspective with one statement. And Ox, you've alluded to this. He said Giannis got shot with his own gun. Gave up Drew Holiday, and ever since then, things just ain't been right. And
Yeah, I think Giannis is gone personally. I don't think there's
Chris Middleton and go.
Yeah, there's no point in staying there.
He, by the way, has still sucked in the series.
I saw him miss a reverse dunk, a reverse layup yesterday, and I swear I almost wanted to jump in the stand out the stands and chase him. Coos! I almost wanted to jump out the stand and chase him. I swear.
I don't know why. I don't know why you want to die on the couch.
This dude was wide open on the weak side of the rim. Wide open on the weak side of the rim. And by the way, he's 6'9", ladies and gentlemen. 6'9", had a wide open layup. All he has to do is reverse. And he not only misses, he got blocked by the rim, then he falls over. Ron, I'm like,
this series should be
this
series should be a sweep, but Gary Trent Jr. gave him 37 points.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Gary Trent's not coming back. He was on a minimum. He ain't coming back.
I need my money, Mars.
So
I need my dough. Where's
Giannis going?
He's gone. I think he's gone. I don't know what Ron's talking about.
Highest bidder. What do you mean? What I'm talking about? I never said he was going to stay. If I'm Giannis, I went out.
He signed a 3-year deal, so he signed a 3-year extension, so he's still under contract.
He's under contract.
We don't know what
that contract ain't nothing in the NBA.
Like if I'm Giannis, we could do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
He's won one playoff game.
If I'm the Bucks, I'm trading Giannis. So
he's won one playoff game in 3 years.
If I'm the Bucks, I'm trading.
They've won one playoff game in the last 3 years with Giannis.
Damn,
what are we doing?
Giannis to Brooklyn on the way, y'all. Damn.
Yeah, if I'm the Bucks, I'm trading Giannis. Before he even all-star, I'm trading. We're gonna do a Nico.
So we're starting over. Starting over.
I don't know who has their picks. Maybe Portland has their picks because of the Dame trade. Or
I mean, they gonna get them all back regardless.
Yeah, I'm doing something.
Whoever they trade them to, they gonna get the picks.
I ain't wasting my time with this. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But DBZ Stay became a YouTube member. Shout out to him or her. And Cheese gifted 20 Players' Choice memberships. So shout out to everybody that got those memberships. Y'all know the drill. If you get gifted a membership, that means like the video and subscribe and extend your membership. Shout out to Cheese. Also, Dame the Great sent through a member chat and said, not going to lie, Ant has become my second favorite active player. I just love his positive energy when it comes to his teammates. Amazing leader and only 23.
Love it.
Really good player.
We still got some stuff we got to clean up because he's a kid and he does,
he got like 8 kids.
Yeah, and he's what we call a country bumpkin. Yeah, he is that. But for the most part,
sure, he above city vibes though.
No, that's what he is. He a country bumpkin who is getting acclimated to the city. That's what he is. But we working on it.
Hendrick Starr said in a member chat, "Are you trading Dame?"
There's no way to trade Dame.
How?
Yeah,
how are you trading them?
With $60 million a year guaranteed coming.
No, ain't nobody taking that.
No,
that's definitely the worst part of the whole thing.
Yes.
Well, like he can't be traded now.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you got to pay him all that money.
Yes. What kind of value does he have?
I mean, someone just tore their Achilles. I'm not really worried about trade value. I feel that's a bit inhuman and indecent. But like.
Business is inhuman.
It's not our business. I feel like we should be a bit more empathetic to that. We aren't the GMs. We shouldn't be.
I mean, it was a super chat question, so
Yeah, I mean, I think that should be our first priority. Oh yeah, I really am trade value.
Yeah, that was corny, Ox. It was.
Someone is about to be going through some of the toughest rehab.
Well, I mean, they asked the question. I'm just saying, like,
that was corny.
What can you get from it? The thing about it though is it's really just sad, like, because Bo's, he's not 26, 27. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna miss.
Coming back from this, he ain't going out like this though, Ox. He coming back.
It was a year.
I mean, I don't know that. I can't say yes or no because everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody heals differently. I do believe Dame has a superior work ethic. I think he's definitely gonna push to come back. I don't think we have to worry about that. I'm just saying, like, what do you get? What kind of Dame do you get come back? Because he's not gonna be able to play till he's 37 now.
No, I mean,
Well,
probably not
him-
that long.
He turns 35 in July. He
Yeah,
probably
he
July
turns 35.
Oh, I thought y'all said he was already 35.
No,
No,
he
he
turned-
probably,
he
and he
turned-
probably comes back.
Oh,
when
I'm
he's
tripping.
36.
No, oh, Damien. Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay.
He
Yeah, so I
probably
He'll
mean,
come back.
36.
But I do think that
Yeah.
the Damian Lillard that we are used to seeing, I think that dude is gone. I don't think
Well,
we're
we
gonna
don't. Well,
see
hold on. I have no idea, but I will say that the
I
year
know.
prior, literally the year prior to 2 days ago, he had a calf strain last year that he was dealing with, and so for it to come back a year later, obviously with the blood clot stuff and everything else, it's just really, really unfortunate for him. But obviously, hope he's able to get rehab and take care of his body. He's in a good mental place and all that. Has the support he needs. That's definitely a tough injury to come back from.
And
Hip
yeah,
names-
yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Ron.
Pip named Slickback sent through a super chat and said, "Who would win a fight? One Ron versus 1,000 hamsters."
I don't know if I have one Ron versus one hamster.
I ain't fighting one hamster. I ain't fighting 5 hamsters. I damn for sure ain't fighting 1,000 hamsters. Y'all seen the clips?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, I ain't fighting them hamsters.
Hell no, I'm getting up out of there.
It's Zamzay said, "I don't know why Chill pushed back so much on the Ant and Luka convo. Chill was the one saying Ant could be better than Luka to swipe it for the exact improvements Ant has been making. Stand on your nuts, Chill."
And I am standing on my nuts. It's just not right now. That's the point. It's just not right now. It will be 100%. I stand on that. I think he's going to be the best guard in the league. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be the league MVP at one point. I do believe that. It's just not right now. That's all.
Well, it might be right now. It just hasn't been for long enough to where you can say it. That's what you're saying. Because he wasn't last year, so it's not right now. But it might be right now if we look 3 years in the future. It's weird how you do it, but it's kind of funny.
Fed sent through a members chat and said, "Are Lakers in 7?"
Facts. Lakers in 7. Lakers in 7.
Oh,
I'm here for that 3-1 comeback, man.
Frank C sent through a super chat and said, "JJ doing a terrible job coaching. Needs to bench Reeves. Been saying this. Play Luka at the 5 as much as possible. Start Gabe. And
That's got to be a
Smith.
typo. I don't know what
Luka
that's got to be a
on the
typo.
wing."
No, he's saying he can't guard on the perimeter, so put him around the rim.
That's got to be a typo.
God.
I don't know what he might have meant,
Brother,
but there's
come on,
no way
Frank.
that's what he meant.
8 Gates Lee sent through a members chat and said, "Lakers saved my weekend after that AG bullshit."
Lakers L saved my weekend after
Oh,
that.
yeah, he's a
AG
Clippers
deal.
fan. Yeah.
Shout out that Lakers L.
I kind of feel the same way though. That made up for that. Like,
No, this was a great weekend of hoops. Besides the Cavs Heat game.
Kareem NYK 2001 said, "Keep going, Mars." An agreement between you two? Well, anyways, he said, "Keep going, Mars. Luka overrated. JJ the worst coach."
He made up for that. He'd been yapping in the chat for like an hour about me lying about a bunch of different things. Couldn't praise me too much.
Hezo Mellow Jello sent through a super chat and said, "I'm not gonna lie. I knew this shit was gonna happen when JJ started them in the second half. But hey, if we out the playoffs early, I can enjoy the playoffs without stressing about these dudes."
I think the Lakers being out in the first round and not winning the title was actually good for the NBA.
Hilarious.
I think that if they would have won a title off the first Luka year, I think that would have been a horrible message to send. Go ahead.
first of all, brother, stress kills. You know what I'm saying? Just breathe through
100%
it. It'll be okay. It's just basketball. It's just basketball.
I'm about to go take an hour walk, 45-minute walk right now outside.
Now you talking, Swiper. That's all you got to do is get outside and just soak in some of this sunlight, breathe. Stress kills. Don't stress over. And if you're gonna stress over anything, don't let it be the weak ass Lakers.
What about a love of your life?
Don't stress over your baby mama either.
Hell no. You stress over that, you for sure. You're done. You're done. You're done.
All right. In the words of a wise man, it ain't nothing to cut that. Super chats from Synth Pop Galaxy. Mars, you ever heard that song? It ain't nothing to cut that trick off.
Yo, we didn't even talk about the Pistons game, man.
We did not.
We'll talk about it tomorrow because there's only one game on tonight.
Yeah, we got super chats to talk about.
Okay, but if Steph Curry
There's
goes
only
off,
one game
Oh,
on
all
tonight.
right. I got you. A members chat from Synth Pop Galaxy said Jalen Brunson was taunting the Pistons fans from the bench with the challenge sign after a foul on Ron Holland. ... Pistons were out of challenges.
Would we be upset if they
That's
get
top
a if the Detroit Pistons get a protest?
I
Would
think
we
they
be
should be able to.
I think that's the clearest example of a protest I've ever seen.
But
No.
what would happen? What do you mean?
They
a
would have to
protest?
replay
Tim
that.
Hardaway,
The
Tim
next
Hardaway
game?
Jr.
would
would
get his
shoot
free
his
throws.
his three free
And
throws.
what does that do? And then
Gives
They
them
win the
win.
game. What do you
It gives them
mean?
the win.
Just
If
so
you
you got
protest, they have to replay whatever the play was if it's egregious enough, and he gets 3 free throws, 1 to tie, and then 2 to get the lead.
So if he ties, then they play
Nah.
out of overtime.
Yeah, if he ties.
Yeah, then they would
yes.
have to also play overtime
Mhm.
that day.
I wouldn't be mad.
And if he makes
I,
over,
but,
then
but
it's too
I think
serious.
that, but
I'm
for
not-
them, for David Guthrie after to say it was clearly a foul and it affected the outcome of the
I
game.
don't want to hear that, Swiper. I
Nah,
don't.
come on, bro.
Don't
No,
tell me that.
Nah,
I don't
bro.
want to hear that.
Don't want to hear
I'm
what?
like,
I fucking that make-
normally
oh, that
normally
makes
I'm on the
crazy.
side of just like refs make mistakes, players make mistakes, whatever. The difference between being down 3-1 and being tied 2-2, like
Is
that
night and
can't
day.
be determined by a ref admitting they got the call wrong. I'm sorry.
But chill,
Like,
you don't think
something-
that?
But
you
the
don't think
refs
that's a big
missed.
enough-
That's not the only call that was missed all game. So if we got to do
No,
one, we
That's
gotta
where
go
I'm
on
at.
that.
But Swiper,
That's-
my issue, Swiper, my issue is very
It's
simple.
true. It's true, Swiper.
got it.
They missed
My-
more than
my-
that.
my
But I'm
issue-
saying,
my-
but it's
my
the
issue
game.
is
It's
that
the
they got it
game.
wrong.
It's the game winning or losing play,
That's my
though.
issue. My issue
Every
that they
game
got
is a
it
game
wrong.
winning or losing play.
No, but
Every game
no,
is
hold
as
on,
important as the
but
next.
what they should have done, chill, is I think they should have blew the whistle and then reviewed. That way you can
At least-
determine
at
if
least
there
we
was
got a
no
foul.
foul or a foul.
When you get it wrong, okay, we know you got it wrong. Don't come tell us later on we got it wrong. Don't tell me that.
Oops.
That's my issue. That's my issue, Swiper. We know you blew it.
And only people that are not Ox is, and I'm not talking. The only people that are against that are Knicks fans because they're completely biased about what happened. If that was Jalen Brunson that got hit like that, after all the grifts he's been getting this series, they would be losing their mind. Detroit got robbed. And I don't even think that's a question. Everybody knows they got robbed. The only excuse is, well, they missed other calls throughout the rest of the game. Detroit got robbed.
That's not an
Period.
excuse. That's a fact.
All right, whatever, dude.
I
They-
do
they
agree.
got-
Yeah,
You can-
I
I'm-
do
I'm
agree.
just saying
Many
so
missed
sorry,
calls
every-
happened throughout the game.
No.
But I'm sorry. Like that's the
You
literally
can't,
the
y'all
final
can't
play of
just
the
pick
game.
and
Like,
choose which one to overturn.
I am picking and choosing. I'm sorry. Like it's the literal the final play of the game that the refs missed. I'm sorry.
I just think every player is created equal, and I don't want to disrespect the other players. That's all.
double quality. I'm sorry. The pistol. It should be 2-2, or Tim
It
Hardaway
should
should have
be-
had the opportunity
Yeah, it should be
to make it
2-2 right now. Yeah.
Ox, the
that-
last
that's
time we had
crazy.
this conversation, you didn't believe in equality. Remember when we was talking about? You don't remember that conversation we had?
I don't. You can
Sounds
enlighten
like
me
sounds
and the
like
people.
something
I'm not
Ox wouldn't
tripping. I'm,
believe in.
I'm definitely not.
All right, shout out, y'all.
Alright,
What?
Well,
yeah,
either way it goes, Christopher Cooper said Brunson the best guard in the East.
I mean, last week how the poll was run, that Brunson or Cade, and Cade was winning the poll overwhelmingly. I'm not sure how people feel about
LeBron
that.
just had Cade a
few
couple
days
days
later.
ago. Literally.
but-
If you ran it right now, it would be Brunson.
Crazy how like reactionary people are, but you know.
Shout out Zigsaw Puzzle. Zigsaw became a YouTube member. Also, shout out to Yusuf Oz. Yusuf said, Ant better right now, but he also has a better team. Let's not forget what happened last year. All I heard last year was Ant was gassed. Why can't Luka get that excuse? Given that he has to play the whole game. Is Luka
I mean, you
gassed?
heard Ant was gassed because Ant himself said he was gassed.
That's why he said
That's
he
why
was
he's
gassed. And Luka can't get that excuse because Luka is notorious for not being in shape. That's why.
Fat
I
ass
also,
boy.
I also just don't think Luka was gassed. Like,
And I don't think he was gassed neither.
no.
No.
He never said he was either, so I'm not.
All right, we got another super chat from Napoleon Ice Cream. Shout out Napoleon. We ain't seen you in a while, my friend. Napoleon said Jokic didn't travel.
He didn't travel. He did airball though.
DBZ Stays said 30 has been a top 3 player in the playoffs. Is he the best 37-year-old ever? As soon as he gets help, he is a top 5 player in the league. Steph Curry the best? Or
Steph's 37 now.
yeah, is he?
Steph at 37. Was he better than James 3 years ago?
I think he turned. Yeah, he did turn 37 in March.
So in 2022, was he better than James?
The Steph I've seen since he's turned 37, so in March, yeah, that's better than LeBron in whatever year you're talking about.
3 years
2022.
ago.
Yeah, that's better than him, in my opinion. But
I don't know about that.
I'm a LeBron hater, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I can't call it. I'm gonna just leave that one alone.
But yeah, the Steph I've seen. So when did he turn 37? He turned
March.
37
March.
March 14th. So
Mhm.
let's go look at some numbers since March 14th. We'll see if the numbers paint any good
Let's
picture.
get to them good old numbers.
Damn, he had a game 1 for 10 against the Rockets. Meh. Numbers are meh. So
I'm just looking at this playoff series.
yeah, he's gonna be 2-2 against the Rockets. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's in that conversation.
Shout out Steph. The baller shot caller 1999 said, "This is why I said Luka must be mad getting traded from the perfect team to beat the Wolves. The Lakers are losing this series next game. Is it over?"
Lakers in 7.
I think it's over.
Shout out to 00 Dom. 00 Dom became a YouTube member. Also, shout out to Hunter. Hunter sent through a super chat and said, "Watching the Nuggets bench sub in has never wiped the smile off my face faster. Shit's unbearable."
I saw Vlatko Kantra subbing and play some.
Who?
Shout out Blacko.
So shout out to him getting some playoff minutes.
Shout out my man Vlad. For real. The baller shot caller 1999 said, "Tim Legler once said Luka isn't gonna be cutting and doing all this movement, and I agree. He's like James Harden. He is the system."
James is better, but well.
C2 React said, "Chillin' Mars. If the Lakers get bounced out the first round, what's everything they need to do, or what's everything they need to compete for a chip?"
Everything? Well, first they got to show up that 5 spot. That's number 1. We definitely got to do that. Number 2, they got to get some shooting off the bench. They got to do that.
Sure, why don't they just let Luka play the 5?
Yeah,
they could do that too. They could do
I mean, I would just I would fire my coach and then trade Luka and then trade LeBron.
I'm so bad. I'm so glad Coach Hurley didn't take that job. I'm so glad.
Well, he's actually a good coach, so you know. But he would also get blames for whatever reason. But yeah, I would just build around Bronny.
There you go. That's what Mars would do. Chef Elmer sent through a super chat and said, "The way Steph is playing right now, he's in a tier with Jokic, Giannis, and Shea."
He is hooping.
2K God said, "Mars, are you still rejecting a trade that's centered around Amin and Tari for Giannis?"
I offered Cam Whitmore and Fred VanVleet.
There you have it. Love Fadina said, Mars, last year you said it will never be better than Luka at no point in his career. Do you still stand on that?"
We actually got into this conversation last year. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
I remember the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I remember me saying that. No, I don't still stand on that.
Shout out Troy Knights. Troy Knights became a YouTube member. Salute to you. Everybody, make sure you turn on your notification bells. Make sure you like the video and make sure we just keep going in the chat. Mm-hmm. Rockout Deuce said Jaren, Bane, Gigi Jackson, and 3 first-round picks for Giannis. Not my trade idea, by the way. How we feel about
that? Giannis? Oh my god.
That's he just as worst over there. He might as well stay in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's what I think. The trade package it will take to get Giannis, just like it makes your team not a contender once you get it.
Well, there's
unless like you're the Thunder or something.
Well, you got to get a third team involved. Got to have a blockbuster trade.
The Spurs got enough to make that happen, and I think
Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
They don't have anything straight up, Ron. Nothing. Just so you know, Ron, in Milwaukee, if you Ron, if you think in Milwaukee, they handing over Giannis for a bunch of kids and some draft picks, it's not happening, Ron.
Stephon Castle, what do you chill?
Don't forget Keldon,
It is a rebuild. It is an instant rebuild. Who better to rebuild than with the rookie of the year, a 23-year-old who's averaged 20 and has shown promise, and then you get 4 picks, and then they'll probably throw in Jeremy Sohan or something.
But if them picks ain't yours, who cares? You're gonna be tanking for the Blazers to get the number 1 pick. Like,
what do you mean?
Getting picks back for a rebuild is valuable when you have your own picks. Getting picks from the Spurs, who are going to acquire Giannis, we got the 24th pick in the draft.
But the Spurs don't just have their own picks. The Spurs have a treasure chest of picks.
What do
They
you-
have the Hawks picks in their own. The Bucks don't have their picks.
What do the Hawks have to give
the
up for
Bucks aren't
Giannis?
going to
The
get their
Hawks don't have
picks.
anything.
They traded
The
them
Hawks have
away.
anything?
In fact, they just
If-
gave San
if you're
Antonio
dumb
their
enough to
first
trade
round
away your
pick, and they ain't
picks,
make the playoffs.
Then that's on you. But I'm saying, like, at least getting picks back. Like, at least you got something now. But
I
get
don't
what you're saying.
think the Spurs match up to what the Thunder can give up.
Yeah, well, maybe they're not in it. But to this trade, if I'm the Grizzlies, I would love to do this, except I just have to keep Bane. It's no point in me getting Giannis and not having Bane.
If I'm the Rockets, I'm looking into it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The Thunder better not go get Giannis.
Now go ahead. Go ahead.
What?
The Thunder. Holy shit.
Go ahead.
Yusuf Oz said, I don't know if you guys spoke about it already, but what are your thoughts on JJ playing the same lineup for the whole half? Bad coaching or bad roster?
We talked about it.
We spoke about it.
Is it bad coaching or bad roster?
The answer's both. The answer's both.
Okay. John Cena sent through a members chat and said, Dame's injury broke my heart. Where does 34 go now?
Cancun.
Giannis, come on, big buddy. Buddy, come join me down here. Morning Bump said, not basketball related, but I got to hear the panel's thoughts on the one gorilla versus 100 men debate.
Ox, I've always felt like this. When you see that lion and you see a whole bunch of gazelles, all you got to do is kill one of them. And like 89 of them will be like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with that. So it depends on who the gorilla killed. He ain't got to kill all 100 of them. All he got to do is kill the right one.
For me, that question just comes to who are the 100 men? Like,
yes,
there's a big range. If we talking about like 100 of them type of men, I got the 100 men. But if we talking
It's
like
apparently the average man, so 5'9", 160, like just
you got
it's 100 of them still. Like,
yo,
I'm going with the man.
I'm with Chill that the gorilla get a hold of 3 or 4 of them, snap some necks. 77 of those other men are running away.
They
so
out.
then it really turns into one gorilla versus 21 men.
Yes.
It's I got okay, so that's one scenario, but I got the 100 men now. I got the 100 men for sure. But
I'm sure you, I'm part of that 100.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I would never be a
at
part
least
of it.
99. It's at least 99.
You include me in there. Just know it's one short because I ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, y'all coming up short today, boy. But no, it's gonna be the 100 men for sure. The 100 men beat one gorilla. Like I know how strong gorillas are. I know all that, but the 100 men beat one gorilla for sure.
All right, last but not least, this is the last super chat of the day. It's from Smooth Tube. Smooth said, Steph chopping them feet too, or Steph chopping them feet too to low key this series. He's talking about on defense.
He playing defense.
This season by Steph overall is going to get underrated years to come because of the box score.
Yeah, I think post-trade deadline, I think you've seen Steph is still that guy. And I'm perfectly fine saying I was very premature in what I was saying about Steph. A lot of what he was struggling with was due to circumstance. I do think he's regressed. Standing on that, he's obviously worse than he was a few years ago, but the substantiality of said regression definitely less than I thought. But when you go ahead and Jalen Green,
it don't look as bad. Them puppies ain't got to move as much.
Yeah,
I guess they do.
But still, he doing well. He playing great this series.
All right, fellas. Well, as we know, tonight we have 2 playoff games, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. And then right after that, we have the Rockets and the Warriors. So we will be back to talk about both games tomorrow.
Get them dudes up out of here, Ox. Get them dudes in Miami up out of here.
We talking about one game. We not going to spend a minute tomorrow on that Cavs Heat game.
Get them dudes out of here. Go. They're going to do them. Go.
See you.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
Merry Christmas.
All right, y'all. Last but not least, chat, I need you guys. I don't have time to run a poll, but I need you guys to answer this question. The question is, we have 1 Chill versus 100 Goofies. Who will win this? In the meantime, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Later.
In the comments post show.
Later.